Welcome to the first episode of Hawk Talk. I'm Nick from Hawk Pro Detail and been a little dormant on the channel. Had some other projects that I'm working on, but I'm really passionate about the detailing industry if y'all have been riding with me over these years. And speaking of that, I think I'm sort of like an old head, as they say in the hip hop game. And I like taking it back to the old school. Greg Masterson. Many people may or may not know who you are. But for me, you were the first guy I saw on YouTube. Anyway, Greg, how are we doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you, Nick?
You're with Masterson's Car Care. What do you got behind you there?
This is our factory store in Anaheim, California. That's actually where we're located right here. This is in Anaheim, right next to Disneyland. It's actually the largest detailing training center and showroom in California. So it's pretty cool. I recommend if you're ever out here, come down, have some cool coffee with me, grab lunch, check out the showroom. We just got cool stuff going on here every day.
All right, Greg. So let's go back to the Chemical Guys days, all right? Because as far as I can tell, you were like the first person who ever put how-to videos on detailing out there. You're obviously not the first, but talk to me about like your history and how you decided to start going online, putting videos out. People are going to say what they want about Chemical Guys, but I have to imagine there's like tens of thousands of detailers or hundreds of thousands of DIYers out there who at some point watched you teach them how to clean a car.
Yeah, I actually pitched the idea, this was before monetization of YouTube. So if everybody's watching this doesn't know what it is, that's where they pay you to put commercials in front of your platform. And so YouTube started going on. I was like doing stuff at the beginning. And
like what year are we talking about? Like when did you start
like
detailing?
2009. I mean, I could even find this for you.
I found this photo of you, brother, from like 2005. So like I know you were out there on those streets. Like this was from some detailing forum where you were like, here's how to machine polish a paint. And you were like, very much, here's what I can do for you. But like you were promoting yourself in a way that obviously spoke to the kind of presentation and success you were going to have online. So you didn't have any fear about putting yourself out there.
Where'd you find that picture? Probably like Detailing Bliss, maybe?
Yeah, it's something on Google.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. See, it goes to show this is something I've been doing for a long time. I was even thinking about that the other day. Like,
you're a young cat though. You're not over 40.
No, I'm 35.
So about 40, my age.
But I started detailing like this when I was like 17 years old. And then what I mean detailing, I mean detailing for money. And that's what I talk about. I mean, everybody loves detailing. Like, I mean, the first time I remember washing a car, I was like 5, and it was with my grandfather. And we were washing one of his old Mercedes, and he had like a collection of old Mercedes. Like one time he had 5. They were like, I mean, the old kind, like from the 60s and 70s,
Yeah.
And, he actually daily drove an older one from like the 70s for a while. And we were just washing it. And that's like my earliest memory of detailing, I believe. And I really started doing it for money back in like about when I was like 17 was the first time I did it for money. So you were talking about YouTube, right? How do we get onto YouTube?
Well, so you were the first guy that I saw. So I think here's the journey that a lot of people go on. They look up auto detailing online. They see a Chemical Guys video. It's probably Greg, at least in the earlier days. And then they say, okay, I hate Chemical Guys. I'm going to move on to something else. All right. I'm just keeping it real. But a lot of people still love Chemical Guys. There's a reason why why that company has such a big name and is so successful. But at some point along the journey, they watched Greg. But you had a beginning where you had never made a video before. Like, what was the detailing how-to video space like when you started? I mean, I don't even know how you started at Chemical Guys, so I'm just sort of curious about it all.
Okay, yeah.
It's easy to think this was just the way that it was when it obviously wasn't.
Yeah, that's so interesting you say that about the YouTube, right? This is pretty much how it went with YouTube. I was working as a consultant at Chemical Guys developing products.
So when did you get on with Chemical Guys? Because you're 35, so you're not that old. So
I was like early 20s. Like,
okay,
I was like very early 20s.
More than 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, well this is like 15 years ago.
Okay, but what was Chemical Guys at the time? Like, how did they find you? Were you in from the ground floor?
No, it's not even from the ground floor. It's just that Chemical Guys was looking to develop new products. And, there's something interesting about, I believe in business karma energy, right? I'm a really big believer in that. And in business, it's who you know and who you meet. And just through meeting some other people in the detailing industry, I just got in connection with the people who were starting up Chemical Guys, and they needed some manufacturing and some design consulting, and because they were trying to build up a brand. And I met on, and I said, we were just meeting, and I was like, hey man, I can do some stuff for you. And they said, sure, let's do it. And then it was literally just like that. I don't know any other way to describe it. And so we started doing some product development, but it wasn't till a little while later that we started doing the YouTube. Okay. And that's like where I was getting at. So back then, this was in the early 2000s, everybody was all about traditional advertising. And when I mean traditional advertising, I mean newspaper, magazine, website was still kind of not traditional. You know,
everyone had a website, but it wasn't traditional advertising. People weren't sure how that was going to probably convert to monetizing sales.
Correct. And so when I first started doing it, just an example, CG and this other brand called Smart Wax, they were putting literally in Los Angeles had a billboard. They were like buying billboards. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. So that's
how the game was played back then, even for detailing products.
Well, I mean, it was played for everything. You know what I mean? But that was like the thing is the billboard. And so literally like the facility where we were doing all the manufacturing and stuff, it was in Los Angeles, and it was on the corner of like Century and like Prairie. And it's like it's like right by the Hollywood Park, you know. Okay. It was like right by the Forum where they have concerts. And so at that time, they had a billboard on the corner on Prairie. And I was like, dude, the billboard, who looks at this shit? I was like, you know, and sorry, I don't mean to like say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, who looks at this stuff? Anyways, that's really how you sold stuff, right? And so I actually said, you need to make some videos. Let's make some videos, dude.
Like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about how he built Wine Library TV by making videos back in the day. And that was sort of a pioneering thing. Like,
it was like the same time as that.
Yeah, like how did you have the courage and the thing to be like, I'm gonna make videos? Because like it wasn't the natural thing. It wasn't just like turning your phone on. Like you had to have the right camera equipment and know how to. I'm just saying, like, how did you get in that mindset of like we need to make videos?
Well, back then there was really nobody making videos. The only person making videos was this guy who used to work for AutoGeek. His name was Mike Phillips.
Yeah, okay. We had him on the podcast for my other company, DIY Detail, the other day.
Okay, yeah.
He's an OG, right? Like, I'm interested in talking to, like, the people who've been around for a minute. So,
yeah. So, he has, it's crazy. And the reason I was just into that guy was because when I found out he had one leg, I was like, dude, that's hardcore. That's literally what I thought. I was like, dang, I was young, and I was like, nothing's stopping this guy. And I read his story about how I wanted to find out how he lost his leg. Because, like, people get disabilities. We all have some type of disability, right? And I was wondering how that happened, and why didn't it stop him from just keep doing all this stuff? I was young. I was like 18 or 19. I was like, dude, that's pretty hardcore. It just struck me like on that. So that was the only other guy doing it, videos. And the cool thing is that I didn't realize he didn't have one leg because he just did it so good.
And he's still doing it. He's still doing it, man.
Yeah, he's still doing it. It's crazy, right? It's like so legit, dude. I think it doesn't stop. And you can read the guy's story about it was like in a boating accident, some crazy stuff.
Yeah, he raced boats, and he went out over the front, and then the propeller cut his leg off. And I actually met him at SEMA a couple of years ago, and then I met you at SEMA this year. So it's kind of funny how all these things kind of come together.
Yeah.
But
so
he had this whole thing like, I asked him like, how did you keep going? And he's like, I considered suicide. But I made a list of what was going right and what was going wrong, and the list of what was going right was twice as long, which is like some rhyming phrase from a song that he liked. But it's a great attitude. He's like, I don't look backward, I just look forward. I don't, at some point you process the stuff, you deal with it, but then you leave it behind you. You don't dwell on it. And I'm like, that's sort of an old school, but also like so simple. There's so much wisdom in that old school kind of, anyway. So yeah, that's inspiration for sure.
That's a lot of wisdom. Yeah, that's some really deep stuff to talk about. And like, I just told them at Chemical Guys, we need to make a video, and let's just do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just did it, and we made the video, and I mean, I thought it looked like shit. but it ended up looking pretty cool. Like, right? I mean, as a detailers, we're all about perfectionists. So I'm trying to
Totally.
imagine like 10 years in the future, looking some good stuff. I was thinking on a broader term.
Oh yeah.
So we just started making videos, and the videos were all about the content. How much content can you put out? And if you go back and you watch the videos, I was trying to make really detailed oriented videos where focus strictly on the actual detailing stuff.
As
Okay.
opposed to
like maybe like a commercial or something.
Okay,
But
yeah,
so,
like giving away the tips of detailing for free, because that's what's worked on Hawk Pro is like just tell people everything you know about how to detail, and then maybe they'll find it interesting. And then from a branding standpoint, I was like, well, some people are gonna say that's too much work. I'll just hire the guy. So that was broadly speaking videos on all platforms. But yeah, I think just giving away everything you know to people online in videos is an amazing way to market.
yeah, I think it's really good. So
But you saw that before. I mean, people would probably think I should just make a commercial. Anyway, I'm interrupting. Keep going.
yeah, I feel that same way, dude. Like it's interesting shit how that works, right? So I was on we just started making videos, and they started taking off. We started doing a lot of them. But what really made it for me to do videos is all of my videos are unscripted.
Really?
Yeah, there's no script. I do them
Same
all.
with me. Same
I
with
do them
me.
all in my head. Okay,
Yeah.
so at a time, I was able to pump out like 10 to almost 10 videos a day. And it would be like, I would be
10
doing like,
videos a day?
10 videos a day. So
Did you have a videographer or were you one
yeah,
man
yeah.
banding?
So it was just me and one guy. And we got an assistant later on to do 2 cameras. So it
Right.
was me and the one guy.
And how big was Chemical Guys? Like, set the scene. Like, it's such a big name. Everyone hates them so much. Like, I love humanizing it a little bit. So, how big was Chemical Guys at the time? Who was this one guy? Like, did you just have one retail location or?
No, I mean, Chemical Guys was selling. They were selling a good amount, at that time.
Okay.
But it was just. I mean, they were a company, and I was in marketing. I worked in marketing. It was like
okay, so you didn't own the company. You were like their marketing guy. Like they hired you to be the face. Okay.
Correct.
People
right?
don't know, dude. There's all kinds. Like that's why I called this the most controversial man in detailing. You've heard it all. I'm trying to let people know the truth here. Okay, so you were hired to do marketing for them. They were a company.
I was hired to do some marketing, and product development stuff like that. To develop the brand. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't till like a little while later, maybe like a year, that the videos came into play. And so that's when we started the videos, right? Because I had already known, I had felt at that time that I had already known almost everything about detailing. I couldn't learn anything new. Like, and this is something in detailing a lot of people don't want to admit, but I feel like you can peak on the knowledge.
I think you could definitely learn and plateau, but like there's always something new that I'm learning about detailing.
Yeah.
Like,
something new. But I figured out that new is usually like a business technique or something outside of the actual technical stuff. Okay. Like that, like I consider it like a musical instrument, right? Once you learn how to play the musical instrument, you're not like, I learned how to play it better. No, you peak out and then you become more creative with the instrument, right? That's where the writing of the music happens. Okay. You're not just like, you don't just get better, keep getting better and better and better, learning more stuff about your instrument. Like you peak out. Okay. I play like 20 instruments, and there's a feeling where you'll just be like, I can't get any better than this unless I just, I don't know, something weird happens, but it's something in the mind, something happens. It's a peak out. And I feel like that's with detailing. Like there's only so much knowledge you can learn, and there's only so much stuff, and everything else is either how to be faster or how to make more money.
Yeah, J&G Auto Reconditioning, my man Jamie in Salt Lake says, I feel that. That's why guys stop detailing and move to another company or another industry maybe. Like,
I didn't notice there was a lot of comments. Cool, I'll follow up.
Oh, there's a ton of comments, man. Some of them are haterade. I want to address them later. But I told Having Too Much Fun, who's like, get this clown off of here. Let's talk about the real. I'm like, let's just
Well,
I mean,
we could talk about some cool stuff. I
want to hear the genesis story of Chemical Guys because everyone has an opinion about that.
So here's what happened.
Okay.
So like, what's up is the way I met them is like my family. We actually do chemical manufacturing. Okay, on a large scale level, and selling to like large companies and selling to consumers way different. Okay, it's like considerably different. So there's a lot of companies out there that make stuff for other companies to sell in like large amounts.
But like private labeling.
No, not even private labeling. I'm talking about just private labeling some different stuff. But I'm talking about just like, let's say that you're a big, huge company and you need a lot of like dog shampoo. There's companies who will make that dog shampoo for you. You buy it in bulk and use it at your 10 dog shampoo cleaner locations, right?
Yeah.
Same thing if you own a dealership, right? Let's say you just want car soap. They can find somebody to make them car soap, and you buy like a huge amount and you buy it like once a year, right? And that's really the best way to do a business if you know your scale of economy to do that. So there's companies that do that. Why do they do that? It's because it's for them easier. So like I talk to other people that I work with, even in my family, and they say the same thing. They're like, look, I like doing business like to larger people because I only have like 10 clients.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of like a million. Okay. So those 10 clients can like sustain the whole business. And it's all about life balance for some people. So that's why they want to run that type of business. But then you go over to the consumer side, you're having to develop products to sell to those consumers. So that's how I ended up getting in with Chemical Guys, like to go ahead and address those consumers. Because back then, this is some crazy stuff. Back then, detailing products were garbage. Like in the
talking about like mid 2000s.
Yeah. It was the worst. Like,
so who was in the game? McGuire's,
Turtle Wax, Mothers. And so I don't want to talk about any big companies before I worked with anything. It's just that at that time there was products that you could buy at Walmart and AutoZone and Pep Boys and the regular store. And then there was no online. There was only like 2 stores, and all the other stuff you had to go to like a body shop, like store to get. You were having to like buy stuff from Europe. Like at one time I was like buying polishes in Europe because I couldn't find them in the USA. And I was trying to do these things with paint correction at the same time that like Paul Dalton was doing. I don't know if you know Paul Dalton.
Is he in the UK?
Yeah, Paul Dalton was like, and this is really what got me into detailing at that time, was this guy, Paul Dalton. And I was like, Paul, and this is actually why I got kind of connected to Chemical Guys, was Paul Dalton. Right. And so Paul Dalton was this guy who was doing like a 64-step car wash in the UK.
Yes, I think I remember seeing this. Yeah. I'm going to try to look it up while you're talking.
Yeah, this is in the early 2000s. He was on like Top Gear and Fifth Gear. I was like, dude, they're doing that in the UK. Why can't I do that in the USA? So I literally started doing that in the USA. Like I started doing detailing on high-end vehicles. I was just only focused on the high-end vehicles. I wasn't doing like some minivan. I was doing some high-end stuff. And I was taking pictures of my work and I was documenting it on internet forums because videos didn't exist yet. So the only thing that existed was internet forums. And the only way to document it was with a lot of pictures.
Yes, the forums had tons of pictures, right?
And that's why you found that picture of me. Because I documented all of my work extensively. And you can actually go back on some of these forums and like, I take pictures of like the before and after, different angles, different lights. And then like, this was before LED lighting. We were using metal halogen lighting. And metal halogen lighting is so expensive. It's so hot. But it like mimics the sun. Yeah, there you go. There's an old picture, right?
This is you doing a how-to video. I believe this was some of the early days of Chemical Guys. You had it called Teach Talk or Tech Talk? What were you calling it?
Yeah, we're doing Chemical Guys Tech Talk, right? And so this is where we set up, where I was just trying to show people how to detail because I had already done it in pictures, so I needed to do it in video form. So we started doing it in this video form, and the videos took off, dude. It was like they just went off because nobody else was doing the videos. And then what really made it take off was because nobody at the company was believing in it at first.
So, Chemical Guys?
Yeah, like, okay, I had to literally like convince them, look, we need to do these videos. But who's going to watch the videos? It's on YouTube. Who the hell watches this YouTube? It was literally that long ago. And so just imagine that. Somebody telling you, you're telling them you need to be on this YouTube.
This is Paul Dalton, by the way, this British guy.
Yeah, that's
that you used to watch, and you were watching him and getting inspired by that. But anyway, so you're trying to sell it to your company to get onto YouTube, and they're being critical of it, which is so crazy because now I feel like without content and video content, you're nothing. Like it is a content or like die environment.
Yeah. So I told them they should do this, and
YouTube was invented in February of 2005. So you're right there at the genesis of
this was right
okay.
there. Yeah, this was right at the beginning. Okay, like that's why you're looking at it, you're like you're trying to find out these timelines. And
Right, yeah, because you look like a baby here, right? I'm sure you've always looked young, but this must have been what, 2008 maybe?
you
Or
can check it
like
out. Yeah. Maybe like 2007 or 8. Yeah, this was a long time ago. Okay, and this is when no one had videos, bro. Nobody had videos. So we were trying to pump out production videos in what was called like a guerrilla style, literally. And that's why Chemical Guys was on me, because I was able to make the videos so fast. The speed is really everything. And Gary Vee says the same thing. It's all about speed. And I was able to make videos so fast, like I said, 10 a day if I wanted to.
because it seems like you were born with cocaine in your veins. You're just like, brrr, you're very high energy.
Yeah, very high energy. If I'm passionate about something, I'll get high energy about it. If I don't want it, I just won't be passionate.
But in your videos, you're so high energy, and I feel like when I met you at SEMA too, you were just like very animated. You know what I'm saying? Like I could feel that energy from you, and you're very creative in terms of marketing as well. Like one thing I said, I'm like, because we're starting this company, DIY Detail. I'm like, how do you recommend, marketing to people, and how do you make these videos? And you're just like, I just view everybody with a decent car as like a potential customer, right? Like, how can I reach them? Or a nice car?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's so broad. Just remember that it could be my aunt.
Yeah, I feel the same thing. Yeah, that's the same thing I feel, dude. I really believe that, because right now we live in a professional world where these professionals want to be like, hey man, like I'm a professional detailer. I'm doing something you can't. But they're not. The professional detailer isn't doing anything that the average guy can't do. They're just doing it to save time. Why do you get your car detailed by a professional? To save time. Why would I want to get my car washed today so I could be here on the detailing podcast? You know what I mean?
I wrote shots fired as the banner because you just said that professional detailers are doing something that everyone could do at home. So keep it going. I'd like to hear you explain this.
Because it was the first time I realized that was what got me into professional detailing. Because on the forums there was this guy, his name was called F-. It was feminist, and I was like, feminist, and then like it took me a while to figure out that it was F-. Oh, okay. So anyways, this guy, I guess, was just like a lawyer or something, or he had some fucking other job. Okay. And he was posting stuff on the detailing forums, like way better than any of the pros, skipping no steps.
And he's essentially like a DIY. I mean, like a prosumer, what we call it, like a high level prosumer,
whatever, someone that just likes detailing. And that guy was blowing away all the professional stuff. The professionals were just like, oh, here's my clean car. I washed it and it's done. This guy was like, I'm claying. I'm measuring the paint, and I'm doing the 3-step correction. And then I'm wiping it down. I'm inspecting again. And then I'm doing a glaze, sealant, wax. He's like skipping no steps.
Right.
And I was like, dude, that's detailing right there. And way better than all the pros. And so at that moment is when I realized, give me one second. When I realized that the professional detailers sometimes aren't as good as the pros, or the prosumer, or the consumer, the guy that just wants to do it. It doesn't really matter. Like the professional's just doing it for money. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, yeah, I've talked to like Ivan LaCroix, because we have DIY Detail. That's our brand now. And he says the difference between a pro and a not pro is just like a business license, insurance, right? Like you're doing it for money. But sometimes the guys who are super passionate enthusiasts, they can watch all the how-to videos now, get the practice in. Like sometimes they may take way longer, but they'll do better work, right?
Yeah, so, I'll give you an example, man. I teach a 5-day class on detailing, where you can come and I can train you for 5 days on everything, on how to start a business, everything like that, from start to finish, right?
Right.
And what ended up happening was I had a woman take the class who was like, she was like 58 or 59. She was like the Porsche Club secretary. She took the class. It was a 5-day class, and the cool thing about this class is you could learn could know nothing about detailing, but then go into the class and know everything at the end, like to start a business successfully. So what ended up happening is I asked her at the end of the class, what are you going to do with this knowledge? And she's like, well, I'm going to detail my car and I'm going to enter it in this Greystone Porsche concourse show. She had a 996 white Porsche. It was pretty hot. It was white with a blue interior. I thought it was sexy.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, it was a really sexy color, dude. It was really cool. She was like a hairdresser. She was kind of milfy. You know what I mean? It was like,
Okay.
just imagine that. She's really cool. You know what I mean? She was like a hairdresser writer. She wrote for a
Uh-huh.
magazine on hairdressing or like styling. And like she had this Porsche. It was a 996. It was white with blue interior. She was kind of blonde, milfy. You know
Okay,
what I
I
mean?
got the picture, Greg. I
Yeah,
got it.
it's a good picture. I want them to just imagine this. So I asked her,
Okay.
what are you going to do with this knowledge? And she's like, well, I'm going to enter in this Greystone Concourse Porsche mansion and show. And I said, okay, but that's in like 7 months. She's like, yeah, I'm just going to detail the car little by little until it's done. And I said, okay, cool. So she, fast forward 7 months later, she calls me up. Hey, man, you want to come, the Greystone Porsche show? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go. It's in Beverly Hills. So I went down there and I saw her car and her car looked fire. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so the funniest part about that is her car was just a stock Porsche. And then like the Porsches next to her were like, the Porsches next to her were getting professionally detailed, but they had all these swirls on it and all this shit. And
Yeah. So clearly yeah.
clearly she knew what she was doing because like there was a professional detailer doing some stuff that the guy paid somebody, but her car was already done. And I was like, dude, your car looks fantastic. She's like, yeah. And then she ended up winning first place.
That's pretty awesome.
And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So that just goes to show you the power of the knowledge. So back to what we were talking about, about the YouTube is that when we started doing the YouTube, man, literally I kind of had to like convince them to do it, like really hard, convince everybody that. And once it started going off, that's when some other people, started getting on board. But it was all about the passion that we had going in. Before it was like, hi, this is the ceramic coating, or this is the wax. See my wax. We were doing cool stuff. Like,
so tell me, when did you hit a video that like took off where you kind of knew like something's happening here? Like Chemical Guys is growing because of these videos. Was there a viral moment? Was there a big video that you felt like maybe put you on the map?
A lot of it. I mean, I had a video that first hit 1 million views, and it was like one of the first. If you go back, I have like one of the first videos ever using a foam cannon on YouTube. So
I bought my first foam cannon I ever bought was a Chemical Guys foam cannon that connected to a garden hose, and I'm pretty damn sure it was because I watched one of your videos, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I came up watching you. I'm very curious about the story.
Yeah. So, that's we were just having fun doing videos, man. I was just trying to do because the speed of the videos. How many videos could you do? How much fun could you do? And it wasn't easy to do videos back then because you had to like have special equipment and you had to have cameras and you had to take it back to a computer and edit it.
Did you edit them or who edited them?
I had a guy who was editing. I did some of the editing. I do a lot of the editing now. It's more of a collaborative measure, but mainly I had to just focus on doing the videos. How many videos can you do?
So I think the success of Chemical Guys cannot be overestimated because the company blew up, right?
Wow, that's good. Yeah,
But there is a lot of people who are like, what happened to Greg? Why did he leave Chemical Guys? Like, look at all that work you did for them. Your face is out there, but you're no longer with that brand. Can you talk about how your era with Chemical Guys ended?
Well, the Chemical Guys, the company actually sold like 2 times.
Okay.
And so I really want to focus on like super high quality. And that's what was going on at the time. I was trying to make high quality stuff, design high quality products. Because I was hired to like design products. Okay, we need a product to do this. Let's design it. Let's pick a name and the product and let's formulate some product. Let's do all that stuff. Well, the company was like selling. And when companies sell, things change. Yep. And I just didn't want to deal with new things. So my time came to do something else,
And that happens. Someone asked, why did Mike Phillips leave AutoGeek and then go to 3D for a year and a half and come back to AutoForge where he knows a lot of the same people from McKee Enterprises? And it's like, because people are involved and sometimes things work and sometimes they have a expiration date. And anyone out there who's a human knows how this goes. I just wondered if there was some big controversy or, how that all ended. Because like I said, you were the big face of the big company that everybody has an opinion on.
Yeah, that's true. But I was already designing products for Chemical Guys, and they wanted to do something a little bit different. So I chose to do something else. So that's where I wanted to take some of the products that we were making for a wholesale, and I wanted to engineer those products to be put out into the market for consumer. And that's where we released the Masterson's Car Care brand.
So real quick
So
before we go to Masterson's, why were there so many damn products with chemical guys? Like, why did you have like a rubber floor mat cleaner and like 3 APCs and 3 tire cleaners? Because it was like very confused. I spent a lot of money early on at like the detail garages, but like, how did that evolve? Like, did you feel like it became too unwieldy?
I'll tell you why. This is the number one truth, right?
Because I'm interested in the marketing side too. I have my own company. I'm like, I
It's
want to
not,
know your wisdom here.
it's not even the marketing. It's that um, the ideology is that and I'm not trying to say anything bad about the professional detailing industry. It's just that professional detailing, like for money, in professional detailing, the average education is low. It's not like people have like college degrees and business degrees and doctorates. The education level is usually lower. Like they might have not even graduated high school. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm not trying to say anything. This is just the statistics of the shit, right? And if you Google auto detailer average salary, it comes out to like $30,000, between $30,000 and $40,000 a year for the nation, USA. So because of that, sometimes you have to hit marketing a little bit differently. And the theory behind it is that people will only buy something if it says it does exactly this. And to make it that simple, that's how it had to be. That's why I won't, like, people always come and they're like, hey, Greg, do you use the X35WX coating? And I'm like, how does somebody know what that is, right? Like, if I feel like, and all I do is focus on marketing, right? If I can't give a product to my mom and if she can't figure it out, it's a garbage marketed product, in my opinion. And that could be anything, a shampoo, a pen, or whatever. If my 60-something-year-old mom can't figure it out within like a minute, dude, that's a fail.
And do you think that applies even if you're trying to reach someone at a high level, who's detailing at a very high level? Like, do you think that sort of marketing approach, like almost the lowest common denominator, is effective, or is it more for the masses?
It was just a different theory. And
okay, it was a theory you were good.
With marketing, it wasn't even my theory. It's just a theory in general with marketing. Like, you make things simple, it's going to be easy to use, right? So the main problem that was happening with detailing is that, let's say the ideology is slap a new label on a slightly tweaked product to sell.
I just want to let you know what people are saying, so you can address these.
If you slightly tweak the product, it's not the same product. It's something different. It's like I'm really into cocktails and I just like, I mean, you were over at the drink, you were having some drinks with me. I'm really into cocktails, but I like making cocktails, right? Okay. So
you were drinking coffee, I was drinking water, bro. It was that kind of night.
No,
but there were lots of people. Maybe you had a drink. I remember you had coffee. I got COVID that week, so I hope I didn't give it to you, man. It was like a super spreader event, and I don't think I was feeling great.
Now I came solid. I take vitamin C and
okay, there you go.
I don't mess around at that thing. So let's just say you have a cocktail, and the cocktail is 4 ingredients. So let's say it's gin, lime juice, a liqueur, and some simple syrup, right? Let's say let's say it's called a daiquiri, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And the daiquiri is made with rum. If I keep all the same ingredients and I only tweak the rum and I make it gin, is that the same drink?
No.
No, it's not. Okay? Just like if you have a product that is a degreaser and it's diluted 1-to-1 and it's diluted 20-to-1, is it the same product? No, I don't think so. That's my opinion as a detailer. Okay.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, you guys succeeded by having a lot of different products. I remember you had like the Diablo wheel cleaner and then something else. And like, I look back, I'm like, I kind of feel like it was all fine. Nothing was like great. Like I stopped using it for a reason. But it was like a little confusing at first.
I truly believe that with the detailing, you can't just, and this is something that's really interesting. You can't detail a car with one product. There's not one product that you can do to detail a whole car. It doesn't exist.
I think the closest thing as a pro, I would say, is like a good rinseless wash.
Like but then how do you clean the inside of the car?
Rinseless wash.
With the rinseless wash. You're going to clean the seats with the rinseless wash.
Yeah, bro. It works amazing.
I don't know about that. I mean,
like for pros, right? For money, right? Like just try it. Try it one time. Grab your favorite rinseless. I'm sure you guys make a rinseless, right?
But is it going to be the best result you can get?
I don't think anyone could tell a difference. And that's being a little jaded, like doing this for a while now. You know what I mean?
Because I'll tell you why. because I believe in the professional detailing world that people like this is super important. And I'll talk to you about this because people might get really interested in this.
Okay, and I'll just show you our favorite critic here, having too much fun, has said like 10 things and I haven't given him credit. I don't think he's a fan, so he wants to engage.
I don't know who Warner Chemical is.
You don't?
No.
I Googled them last night because I've heard they're owned by Warner, and it's just a big company.
Oh, okay.
It does a lot of private labeling, so I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
So what I was getting at is that when you go to a detailers, and this is what I mean about the educational level and professional detailing only, is that the one thing that professional detailers love to go at is, I'll make your car the cleanest it's ever been. Well, whether I take my car to you, Nick, or I take my car to Force from Puerto Rico or RJ, whether I take my car to any of those, I expect it to be the cleanest. Just like when you go to a restaurant, you always expect it to be a good meal, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a $100 meal or a $50 meal or a $20 meal, you expect it to be the best. Okay. And you don't go out to eat to be like, oh man, this is the best food, because you expect it to be the best. You go out to eat to save time. I believe it's like the same thing with detailing.
Save time.
To save time. Yeah. Because anybody can cook or like follow the directions and make some food. But because like I truly believe if I want a good cocktail, I'll make it at home and it'll be better. I'll make it in Bar Masterson and it'll be better than wherever I'm going. Right.
I actually started just like I'd never made steak before, and I'm like getting really sick of the 5 recipes that I make. So I just started looking up how to make a steak, and I finally kind of figured it out. Like, damn, this is as good as like I probably have ever had at restaurants. I don't even eat steak that often, but I'm like, I can kind of feel fancy at home. Yeah. And you're right. Like, you can do at home better often than you get at restaurants once you sort of cook a little bit, which I've started doing the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I agree.
And I believe it's the same thing with a detail. If you want the best detail, do it yourself. Mom always said, you want it done right, do it yourself. So like, and that's something I've noticed. I've taken my car to get professionally detailed before, and it's never come out as good as I've done it. It always comes out poopy.
What spots do the professionals that you hire miss?
There's always compound dust everywhere.
Oh, you have them do the paint?
Well, I've had this done one time. No, like, this is something I've noticed as well. I've had a professional come and do it because this is a good example, right? If somebody comes to my shop and they're a detailer and they want to leave business cards at my shop to get business, I'll pay them to detail a car here because I want to see their skills. But I'm not one of those guys like, hey, do it for free. I'll literally pay. How much should do this car right now? Oh, it's this much. Okay, do it. And if it's a good job, I'll let you leave your card.
Yeah.
If it's a garbage job, I am not going to let you leave the card here. Because like there's a car that he was just texting me right now, because like I said, I only focus on high-end detailing. So there's a car coming to get detailed by me.
Oh, you still detail?
Yeah, I still detail. And
like how many cars a week? A couple a week? Like, cause you're running the company.
I only focus on like one a week.
Okay, one a week. That's about, yeah.
But it's a full detail. Like this one's coming. It's going to get a 2-stage paint correction. It's going to get like a concourse. It's getting ready to go to a concourse.
And then you'll do like a video on Masterson's products with it, right?
Yeah,
not always.
I'll do a few videos. We'll have a good time. You know what I mean? So
okay.
The reason this guy's coming to me is because he took it other places, and when he brought it to me for the inspection, I was just like, hey, look at all this compound dust. Look at all the stuff that is left here. This just sucks, you know? Right. So that's really what it's coming down to. So we should like circle back to the videos. The one thing about the videos that really took it off is that we had a meeting, and cool people are coming in all the time. We're having a meeting, and because I feel like at the time, Chemical Guys was having a lot of cool people work there, and not a lot of people worked there. Not a lot of people was going on, but it was like a really cool time. We weren't even doing it. Everybody that was working there could have been doing something else. We were working there because we were just having a party all the time. Like
an actual party? Like, tell me the behind the music story. Like, were you guys going wild, or just it was a fun working environment? It was
just a crazy work environment, dude. And the reason why it was because a lot of people that were working it were creatives like me. And when you do creative things, you need to be in a creative environment. You can't be you can't be like stuffed. So what we did was we built like an area in the warehouse, like in an office, and we separated ourselves from everybody else. So we could just do wacky, crazy stuff. Like, right? Like, so we could just make crazy videos and we could do all this stuff, like, and we could just say all this dumb stuff, and like nobody would be recording us or listening to us, right? Because we could just like cuss and say all this shit because it was part of the creative process to make cool stuff, to make videos. We had to be in that creative way. Like when the Harlem Shake came out, we were getting ready to do the Harlem Shake. Okay, so like I'll give you a good example of like how hard it was to fight people back then. Do you remember what the Harlem Shake was?
I remember what the Harlem Shake was.
Okay, that was like the first real viral thing. So I woke up in the morning one day and I saw the Harlem Shake. And I was like, dude, I gotta get to work now and do this. So like I got my ass all the way to work. And I get there and like I'm like, dude, look, hey boss, we need to do the Harlem Shake. It's this big old thing. It's gonna go freaking wild. Here's what I'm gonna do. Call a meeting, make it happen. Okay, cool.
How did you have that vision? Because I feel like it's one of those where not everyone thinks like that.
I don't know, dude. Like just doing a lot of cool shit. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's California, smoking weed, having a good time. So
okay.
Anyway, so the
okay, I gotcha. It all makes sense now.
The gig was I had to run to work and get this done. So we met with everybody, we met with the managers, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut the warehouse down for 5 minutes with all the employees, and we're all gonna do the Harlem Shake. It was like 50 or 60 people, right?
Yeah.
And we had it all set up. It was gonna happen. They were shutting down the factory, they're getting ready to do it, you know, and right as we were gonna do it, one of the other owners, whatever, the bean counter came out and was like, no, we're not going to do this. It's going to, shutting this down is going to cost us like thousands of dollars because of all the fucking labor we're losing and blah, 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 blah. And then it didn't fucking go down.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, what a burn. And then the next day, somebody did the Harlem Shake or uploaded it like later that day, and it went to like 5 million views. And I was like, dang, just like that, you lose it.
And was that before the buyout of Chemical Guys?
Yeah. This was like way at the beginning, dude. You know what I mean? Like so we were just because everybody that was working there was doing other stuff or could have been doing other stuff, but we were just there because we were having a good time.
Hey, so A1 Auto Clean says starting to like this guy, and that's what I felt like at SEMA. Like I met you, it was so interesting. I feel like SEMA is full of all different kinds of cats, and everyone's a little cliquey. And I went over to talk to you, and I felt like people were judging me, like don't go talk to Greg. You know what I mean? Like, oh, who's Greg Masterson, this slimy guy? Whatever. Like you've heard it all. And like I could see people looking at me like, what are you doing, dude? And I just wanted to know, like. I respect the success, brother. Like Chemical Guys made money and you helped put it on the map. So I'm like, and I was talking to you, I'm like, oh, you're an interesting guy. Like I want people to like hear what I heard that night.
I'll tell you why my theory is on this. Okay. I believe that in order to have success, you need to be doing stuff that other people aren't. That's my 100%. Okay. And the professional detail industry is very follow the leader. Is very like, oh, that guy's doing this, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to copy him, and he's going to copy me, and they're all going to copy this. And I'll give you an example, right? There's 5 detail shops around me that all sell product. They all sell the same product. How do you compete with another store selling the same thing as the guy 5 minutes away? You can't. It doesn't make it. It just goes against everything that marketing is built on, or sales, or any type of business structure. If you go to business school, anything they teach you in there, it's like they'll tell you, do not open a McDonald's next to a McDonald's. It's a stupid idea.
Do these places do well?
No, they do horrible. One of them closed. Like it's that bad. You know what I mean? And you ask them like, why do you sell the same stuff that the shop up the street sells? Oh, well, because people ask for it. Like, that's the reason you get on these type of things. It's really weird. And so detailers only want to offer things that other people detail. Like, you want to know what my side hustle is, dude? I'll tell you my side hustle because I just like detailing.
Okay.
And someone's going to jack this side hustle is I get up at 7 in the morning, or I get a little earlier and go. And what I do is I take waterless wash and I go to a Tesla charging station with this guy that I work with. And for 2 hours, we wash about 10 cars for $50 each.
What?
Yeah, so we have this setup where we can wash a Tesla while it charges. So someone goes to a Tesla charging station, they plug in, they're there for 30 minutes. And what are they doing? I actually did statistics on this. The top 3 things people do when their Tesla charges is they watch Netflix, they play a video game, or they watch Pornhub. So if they're just so if they're just sitting there doing one of those 3 things, they could get a car wash. So we go, hey, we can wash your car while you charge. You lock your car, you don't need to even, you can just lock your car, you can leave, or you could sit in the car, we don't care. But we'll wash the car right now, $50 while it charges. Okay, cool, boom. And me and this guy do it like 3 days a week just for fun.
And that's like you did chemical guys, you own Masterson's, like you're a successful guy, and you're still out there hustling, detailing cars like that.
Because it's fun. I get some exercise, I get out in the sun. It's just 2 hours. I'm just laughing with the guy. We're drinking coffee. We're just having a good time in the morning. Okay, it's time, 9 o'clock, time to go. Bye.
How long does it take you to waterless wash a car? So what's your process?
Just spray it down with waterless wash and clean the dirt off, dress the tires, clean the windows, bada bing, bada boom.
Are you using 2 buckets, 1 bucket?
No,
you're not even using buckets.
Waterless. No, we don't use any buckets
So how many towels do you have? Because you got to have nice towels and like.
Yeah, you got I got nice towels, and I have. If you guys want to know about this, on my YouTube channel, Masterson's Car Care YouTube channel, I have videos using our product because our product's a little bit different. We engineered this waterless wash that like sticks to the paint. It's in a bottle. It's easy to use. It doesn't require any buckets because this is my true theory is that a rinseless wash isn't a true waterless wash. I still got to fill the bucket, and I still got to find the water to fill that bucket, or I got to carry around this bucket.
Bro, the waterless wash has some water in the bottle, though, right? You can go down that rabbit hole of like no water, you know.
There's nothing in this planet that doesn't have water in it. We're 70% water, right? Yeah, but we're not water. We're not like, oh man.
So do you have to pitch this to these guys, or like how do you come up with the idea to wash it? Like not everyone's gonna go for it, right? Or do you start to get regulars? No, like your Tesla charger hustle.
We just post it up there, and we just go up. Hey, do you want your car washed right now? We can do it. It looks like shit. I mean, we don't say it like that, but pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, hey, your car looks like pretty dirty, man. You want to wash it? And usually people, Tesla.
What do they say?
They're like, oh, you can do that? Yeah, we'll wash it right now. Well, it charges too. Oh, you guys can do that? Yeah, sure.
And then do they ask how much?
Yeah, they just say how much? And we're like $50.
Like, and what do they say?
And we don't take cash. We only take card. So that we're like, yeah, we take card. We're cashless.
And then do you how do you address it if they say that it's too much? Like how do you deal with that objection or whatever as a sales guy?
Okay, cool. Well, if you need anything next time, here, give us a call. Thanks.
Okay, so you're not pushy at all. You're just like, do you want a car wash? No big deal.
Yeah, you want a car wash? No. And we're good. We hit at least 10 cars while we're there 2 hours. Because what happens is that let's say one person says no, if the next person says yes, and then somebody else sees that, they want it done too.
Hey, Neil says, I'd love to see the Tesla charging station survey that shows a third.
I don't think it's some Tesla charging station. I just Googled it.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I just Googled it. You know what I mean? Someone said Ivan's paint correction videos are all fake. I love Ivan McCoy's videos, dude. It's great. I use some of the audio in one of our TikToks. It was just funny. It was like first we start with the phone. And
oh yeah, someone else used that too. Someone used that on like is a valeting service in the UK. It's like we first start with the phone to emulsify the and like it had like 3 million views. And it was this dude using a green car shampoo to foam a car. With our audio on DIY detail.
Yeah. That's good. And so like what we get back to about YouTube is the interesting thing about YouTube is the YouTube started going like really crazy. And that's why a lot of people started finding out about this. And so we were in a meeting one day and this guy who worked for Francis Ford Coppola was there. And he was like, we're just talking about some stuff. And then he was like, yeah, because this is in LA. We're in Los Angeles at the time.
Okay.
And they were like, you guys got to go harder on these videos.
He said that?
Yeah. That's what he told them. You guys got to go harder on these videos. He didn't say that. You guys got to do more of these videos. It's really good for you, and your videos are really good, so you need to keep going. It's going to give you some good traction. So that's when they were like, oh, this guy working for Francis Ford Coppola told us this, so now we should go harder on this. That's when it started going harder.
And were you the only guy on camera at that point, or had you brought on? Because there have been other faces that have come and gone since then. I remember there was a girl there for a while. There was a Hispanic guy. Like I feel like I if you showed me their faces, I'd be like, oh yeah, for sure, those are
You
definitely
don't know their
faces
names.
of chemical guys. But I only know Greg's name.
Correct. The only reason you know Greg's name is because I believe real recognizes real. And so what was happening is they wanted me to like train other people to do videos and stuff, but you can only be one Greg, dude. You can only be one Nick. You have to do it.
Yeah, there's only one person who's going to be like that, right?
Yeah.
I was a TV news anchor before this, and someone told me like, there's not going to be another like Anderson Cooper or like Walter Cron. Like, you are you, they are them. Like, there's no like, there's at some level, yeah, you're trying to reach a certain level of professionalism or performance, but you have your own style because you are literally a unique human being.
Correct. Yeah, it's like that guy who he doesn't work anymore. But since you brought up news anchors, he used to work for Fox, and he like, I forgot his name. He was like old and white. That's all I remember.
Bill
O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly.
You know that, right?
We'll do it live.
Right? Yes, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. And like, I would watch that shit right before I would do videos, just because it would pump me up. I'd be like, whoa, dude, like this guy's doing it live. Like, screw this shit. I'll just do this shit live. And that's where we just started doing live videos. So it really.
So Ivan and I on the DIY Detail podcast, we'll sit down. I'm like, so what are we doing today? And he'll be like, I don't know. We'll be like, how about this video? I was like, okay, cool. But other people I can tell like are very much wanting to script things out, and I think there's a wisdom to that as well, right? But like in TV news, when you'd go live without a teleprompter in the field, I would always like coach the young reporters like, have some bullet points of what you want to say, but don't have every exact word planned out, because when you're live and you got one take, chances are it's not going to be like you're just talking to me. You're going to be trying to hit every single word exactly right. Yeah. So it's just, when you have a general knowledge of what you have in your heart and mind, like when you're a professional detailer and you know what you're talking about, just talk, right? Yeah, and that sounds like that was your method as well.
Yeah. I feel like when you're very knowledgeable on something, it just like flows out, dude. Like it'll flow like a river. And there's a lot of people who I just feel like when I'm just talking about detailing, it just flows out. Because
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. Well,
because there's a couple other people who are very knowledgeable like that. One of the people I knew that didn't, and this is why I really liked this, is Donald Trump when he was running for president in 2016. Like, he wasn't using any scripts, he wasn't using any teleprompter. He was just spitting out and flowing out, because that's what was like. It's like his mind was connected to his mouth on some crazy level, and that impressed me.
People responded to it. I mean, say whatever you want about it. I don't think we want to talk politics here. I certainly don't. But he got elected president, and no one could take their eyes off of him, right? Like, people responded to that, and it was like real talk from him. It was what he felt, right?
Yeah, it was just some good talking and like good skill, and I think you as a news anchor know what I'm talking about. Like, I even go back and watch like the 2016 debates, just to see how smooth he flows with the speaking live, with no script. And I'm like, I watch that back now years later. I'm like, dude, that's so impressive. Like, shit, that was like a knife edge. No, he's not as sharp as he was back then. The age hits you, but whoa, man, that was like a knife. And I remember that it kind of reminded me about when I started doing YouTube. That shit just flows out. It's so incredible.
I agree, man. And I think Pristine Auto Detailing says, as a small creator here, how do you continue to find your motivation to continue to produce content? So for me, I think people can sense passion. Like, I've tried a couple other YouTube channels and podcasts about other things. Like, I don't know, detailing is just in my soul, man. It's in my DNA. When I start talking about it and actually detailing cars, I get into a better mood. Like, I feel like I'm doing something. I just get so excited about it. So number one, I think you can sense passion. But two, Greg, what do you think? Like, there comes a time in your creator journey where you start to see benefits, like over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. You start to monetize. But some people get there, or get to like 70 subscribers, and they know that they have to keep grinding, but it doesn't feel like the rewards are coming. And there's one of two things, like either just stop because you're not very good. Not saying that's Pristine. I'm talking about just in general, because I've been in there and I'm like, man, we got 25 subscribers. I've been doing this for a year, right? And then it's like, or do you just keep it going? Like, I guess, how do you feel like you stay inspired and motivated to continue to produce content?
You literally you have to, the speed is one thing. You have to keep going on some stuff, but you need to innovate. Like the one thing I talk about the most is TikTok, man. Like, I don't even post on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like Instagram is just a garbage platform. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's like bad, but I feel like it's old. It's very old. The people people are on it are old. Just like the people who, when YouTube started, they were young. Now the people who watch YouTube are old. Where are all the young people? They're on TikTok. So back, and this is what I mean about people. Like, you got to be ahead of the time. I think sometimes I'm just
Oh wow, you have 163,000 followers on
okay,
Masterson's Car Care.
and that's where you were like, what? How did that happen? How many do you have?
With DIY detail, we're at like 75,000, but
Okay.
we've just been very consistent. Like we've just been trying to pump out educational content. But I'm like,
But
when I see 163, I'm like, oh, legit.
But you've been putting a lot of effort into that.
It's my full-time gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get to that. Okay. Now
we're only 6 months old though. Let's keep that in mind.
Correct. Okay. So check this out. I started doing TikTok in 2020. And when I started doing TikTok at the first TikTok ban.
Okay. So you were listening to Gary Vaynerchuk when he said, do TikTok.
Yeah.
When
Gary V popped up and said, you got to be on TikTok, I was like, I'm going to TikTok. So I went to TikTok and I was there. I've even done crazier things, like one called DTube. There's another platform called DTube.
That sounds like a porn site.
It's not. It's actually just like a YouTube competitor, but instead of paying you with money on the algorithm, they pay you in Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when that popped up, I started putting videos over there too. Like I'll put my videos anywhere. You know what I mean? So what ended up happening was back in 2020, this is after I was already like doing a lot of stuff with Masterson's. We were already big in there. And I was like, I'm going to go on TikTok. So I started doing TikTok, and I posted a video just why I left Chemical Guys and why I moved to Masterson's. Or why. And so if people want to know like the in-depth story, you need to go to my TikTok. And go on the TikTok, the video
at Masterson's Car Care,
Masterson's Wax, or Masterson's Car Care, I think.
Yeah.
On the TikTok, yeah. And so yeah, there we go. It's deep in there. You'll find it. And so how when I told people that I was going to go on TikTok, they were like, "Why? That's a waste of time." And then they were like, "It's going to get banned." And this is like in 2020. They were like, "It's going to get banned."
Do you think it's going to get banned now?
No. Not at all.
I think there'd be too much pressure on them to ban it. You're telling your story about how you did TikTok. I just want to interject, though.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk says now the most underpriced attention is Facebook Reels. So for you detailers out there, get your Facebook fan pages going and your Facebook Reels. He's like, everyone has saturated TikTok. He's like, where the attention you should be focusing on is where the most attention is and the least output is. And he's like, everyone moved to TikTok and Instagram. There's like a bunch of young kids who never even did Facebook, but there's still a ton of customers on Facebook. So there's a huge demand for Facebook Reels. There's nobody making the content. He's like, Facebook Reels are where you need to focus in 2023. You guys got to listen to Gary V, man. He's an inspiration.
Yeah, it's really true. And so somebody said he doesn't do Instagram. That's why he posts on IG. I said, I'll still post a little bit on Instagram. You don't want to give up on any platform 100%, but where did I want to put my effort into? My time. It was TikTok. I saw a lot. So I was telling people I was going to do this TikTok, and they were like, oh, like that's a joke. Like, it's not going to go anywhere, and this and that and this and that. And one day on TikTok, we went from like 20,000 to like 90,000 followers in a day.
Just one video.
It was like, on TikTok when it says 99 plus, that thing said 99 plus for like weeks straight with us. It was that because the TikTok algorithm was banging at that time. I mean, it was giving you the gift. It was just like, what was it called? Instagram at the beginning. Like I'll tell you, there was a detailer when I was, back in the day, you could get Instagram followers by like buying them, or you could get them for free. Remember? You could get an app and you could just click it a bunch of times and it would give you like 1,000 followers. Do you remember that?
No. I don't think I've ever even considered paying for followers.
No, this isn't any paying for any followers, but listen to this. Back when the Instagram came out, there was a somebody gave $20. Cool.
Did they give $20? Is that Pristine?
Yeah, $19.99, I guess.
Was that like a super chat? Dude, Pristine Auto Detailing. Man, I've never had anybody do this, so wow.
Cool. Hey,
that's amazing. Thank you. Dude, that's made my day. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there you go. That's pretty cool, dude. You'll see you get cool guests on like me, and people pay money. It's crazy. It's like
All right, here I'm gonna. Okay,
so,
actually, this.
so what
Okay.
I was
Oh, you get cool guests on like me. Is that how that works, Greg?
yeah, see, right? And
The
so
marketing, the marketing
so
guy.
I was I lost my mind because of that
Dude, I can't believe that. That
what
just.
was the what we were talking about something right before that before the 20 happened.
Okay. I blew my mind.
The
Someone paid me
free
20
you could
bucks.
get free followers. So at when Instagram first started, the algorithm was different, and you could
Okay.
get this app where it was like a follower app, okay? And what it was if you click add for every person you add, it would give you like 50 followers or 100 followers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
Was it
so
bots or what was it?
it was just a glitch in the algorithm that they were able to use, and you could make these
Okay.
apps, and so you could just click there and keep adding people and adding people and adding people,
Yeah.
and he it would give you more followers. So back at the beginning of Instagram, a lot of people would do that. And they'd get like, that's why people would have like 50, 60,000 followers on Insta. Now you can't even get like you have 2,000 followers on Insta. That was a hard because a lot of these accounts weren't real. You know what I mean? They were like fake account, or I don't know, they were like fake accounts or like accounts from other countries. I don't know how it worked. Well, I was trying to do some cross promotion with a detailer, and the detailer
Okay.
wanted me to give him some free stuff. He's like, "Hey man, give me some free stuff. I'll promote it on my Instagram." I'm like, "How many followers you have?" And what he was doing is he was trying to compare my Instagram to his Instagram on value because he had 44,000 followers and I had like 2,000 followers. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, but I tried to explain to him this. I said, yeah, but this was like 2018 or 17, somewhere around there. And he's like, I was trying to explain to him that look, at the beginning of Instagram, you could crack into the algorithm and get 1 million followers. None of those all aren't your followers. And he's like, oh no, you don't understand, man. Like, these are really my followers. So anyways, we didn't end up doing anything together. But fast forward to like just a couple weeks ago, I was like, I was talking to the guy and I was like, hey man, hey, so how many followers do you have on Instagram now? Blah, blah. And I went and checked on his thing and he lost 5,000 followers. So in a couple of years, he lost 5,000 followers, 5 years.
No way.
Yeah, so he lost 1,000 followers a year. And I'm like, hey, you're at like 37,000. When I met, you were at like 44. And he's like, I'm like, why'd you lose followers? He's like, oh, well, the algorithm changed. And I'm like, I tried to tell you that back in 17, dude. Because I remembered that thing. So it just goes to show you don't innovate, you'll literally lose followers. The platform only benefits you at certain times. It only
So I think you're an inspiration to not copy, to not follow, to try to innovate. By the way, Mr. Wet Drive Act just sent me like a super chat or a super sticker.
nice.
I don't know how you guys are doing this, but I guess in the comments you can pay somebody. I'm so humbled by it. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Like just like literally made my day, man. I've didn't even. This is crazy.
What I got.
But anyway, okay, I'm interrupting. But I want to ask you about innovation. Like, where do you see? Actually, what were you gonna say? You go first because you had more to say.
You gotta. No matter the problem with the detailing industry now is it's too copy me, copy this, right? It's like you really want to be different. So like just an example, I called a couple people, like I would just cold call in some places, and like 4 shops I called were selling PNS, but it sounded like they said penis. So it was like a weird situation. They were all saying, yeah, I sell penis. I sell penis. I sell penis.
So you just calling around to detail shops to see
Yeah,
what they're selling?
because I do my own research. I'm like, what are you selling? How are you doing this? Because I've noticed that the biggest thing is detailers struggle to profit. Like in the detailing professional industry, there's cats that are doing like millions a year, and then there's cats that are struggling to do like 20,000 a year.
Absolutely.
And there's no middle ground.
And the people who are struggling to do $20,000 a year probably do amazing work. That's the whole mind. Fuck. I'll just
okay.
go
Well,
there,
like I'll give you an example, man. Detailers aren't, and this is something that's real. Detailers aren't they don't know their worth right now. I'll give you a good example, man. There's a detailer that comes here every day or a couple times, and I asked him how much you charge to wash a car. He says 30. Well, I had to have a detail done, and I didn't want to wash the car, so I charged the customer 50 and paid him 30. Why didn't the guy charge 50? Because he said people won't pay that.
$50.
Yeah, $50.
They won't pay 50. See, that
Correct.
mindset is so interesting to me.
But because they want to be the, like right now there's a problem with detailers. It's called I call it the race to the bottom. Like they want to sell the cheapest stuff at anywhere. Like I'll give you a good example, man. Since you sell products, I sell products. I was calling a detail store and I was like, hey man, you want to sell this soap? And so the soap it sells in the store for $30. Okay. And let's say that their price was 15 because it's wholesale.
Sure.
So,
50% off for wholesale.
Okay. So, but they're like, oh, well, I sell a soap for 15. And I said, okay, well, how much do you get the soap for? I get it for 10. So he could sell our soap, make 15, but he continues to sell this other soap, only make 5. And I say, well, why don't you make more money selling this other soap? And he says, but people won't pay them $30 for the soap. They only want to pay the 15 for the soap. But I don't see it that way. I see it as more choices. And sometimes if things are too cheap, you don't want to buy it. Like I don't want to buy the cheapest stuff. Like let's say Nick, I was like, hey Nick in Vegas. I was like, hey Nick, dude, you're such a cool guy. Let's go out to dinner. And you're like, yeah, Greg, let's go. And I said, what if I told you, yeah, I got this place in Vegas, dude. It's got steak and lobster and 3 sides, the biggest sides, $8.99. You ready?
$8.99. I'd probably say that doesn't sound good. Like I don't think that's gonna be.
Yeah. So like if somebody's selling you some detailing products and it's like a gallon of soap for $9.99, is it going to be good? No, it's not.
So a couple people are saying this is getting a little long. Having too much fun says it's getting long. Want to support Nick, but might turn off. So I don't need to listen to the lies. Hey, I just want to keep talking. I don't want to put this on any, like, if you guys want to go, thank you so much for watching. I feel like there's so much to talk about. Greg, you cut me off whenever you want. All right. So I want to honor your time. It's valuable. But
we were talking about detailing success, man. You gotta be different than everybody else. You gotta be different than everybody else, man. Like that's the number one thing, dude. You know what I mean?
And that's why I said the most controversial man in detailing. I think you kind of court the controversy because you want people to know who you are and be remembered. It's a fine line, but you were pretty savage in the forums back in the day. I don't see you on there anymore, man. But you just stir it up, bro. But people know who you are. You're different.
I'll give you an example, man. This is a true ideology. I think about this is when you think about people you met, you don't know how you heard about them, but you remember them. It's like, how did you hear about Paris Hilton? No, I'll give you an example. How did you hear about Kim Kardashian?
No idea.
But she's in your head, right? How did you hear about her? What put it in her head? What put Paris Hilton in your head?
I could think of memories from my, earlier life of seeing her in certain things, but yeah, I don't know.
You don't know. It's some weird thing with our brain is we can't remember. Like I'll tell you this. I got a guy who's a friend of mine. We've been friends for like 20 years. I don't remember the first time I met him.
So what does that mean for us as branding detailers? Like, how should we think about that to brand ourselves and be so known to people that they don't remember how they heard of us?
Just go wild on stuff, dude. I do crazy marketing. You know what I mean? Like these it's all about opportunities, It's like one of the biggest controversies that a lot of people say I do is I have like girls in bikinis and we wash cars with them. But like they're like, where do you get these girls in bikinis? Actually, they're our customers. They have their own OnlyFans and they like using the content for their OnlyFans.
Oh my god!
So we have them come over and we're like, hey, let's have a good time. I'll order pizza.
Let's have a good time.
Yeah, because that's what it is, having a good time. Like
you got a ring on your finger. How does your wife feel about that?
She knows it's the same thing. It's all about running business. It's all about marketing. You know what I mean? Like you've seen Sopranos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What was Tony's business?
Didn't he have a strip club?
Yeah. Was Carmela complaining about the strip club? No, because the strip club was raking in the dough.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Right? So that's the way you got to think. You got to think about the marketing like that, man.
So how do we do something different? What's the next big thing? Like, how could you encourage detailers out there to innovate in terms of getting their brand out there?
It's a lot about the social content. And you gotta figure out a good name for your business. If your business is called Elite Auto Detailing or something like that, you need a new name. Straight up.
Dude, I'm gonna put the banner back. Shots fired.
Why? What?
Well, we got a couple people in here we got Pristine Auto Detailing, and I think that's a great name. But Greg,
yeah. But like, it's got to be like if I were gonna start, I could come up with detailing names all day. Like, what a good one is? I want to be Dick's Auto Detailing. Always trust the Dick. You know what I mean? Or something like that. It's got to be good, something cool like that.
So you're interesting the way you market. So Dan Williams with Owner's Pride used to be with Optimum. He had Big D's Auto Detailing or Big D's Mobile Detailing in San Diego, and I always thought that was interesting. So I'm like,
what kind of marketing did he do? Was he always like, here, I'm going to give you the D?
No, I don't think he did any of that.
That's what really got us off. Like when we were coming up with names at Chemical Guys, here are some of the couple names. We had a product that was some like wax that would bead up. So we called it Super Beat Off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you.
We had like a stripper scent.
I know you had stripper scent. I remember that.
Yeah, and it was just all because like.
And the bean counter was okay with that?
They're never okay with that. Like over here, we have a dank marijuana scent.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right? We have a dank marijuana scent. We have a whiskey scent, a Mexican hot chocolate scent. Like it's just so it's to get attention. It's like people do those things to get attention. Like one of the biggest marketers, I believe, number one, Rolex. Dude, Rolex released their new watches today in Switzerland. And some of them are a freaking joke. One of them has like puzzles and an emoji on it. Like it'll say heart.
Has an emoji on it?
Yeah. It says like love and happy. It's a date where it says the date and the day. And where the day is, it has love, happy, whatever.
I'm looking at them now. That's
yeah. And then there's an emoji where the date is, or where the date is. Yeah, like a heart and a smiley and this. Why did they do that? To get your attention. So people are like, dude, because people don't buy watches very much. It's like a luxury item now. So let's do something to get people's attention. Grab them.
And you think it's okay to sort of like skirt that line of a little cringeworthy, or like the bikinis or the stripper wax scent, or I don't know. It just feels a little bit.
What is it? What is it doing? I think it has fun. Like people usually have fun doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll give you an example, man.
How about more? Okay, this is a good one. How about this one from Neil White? What do you think of this name?
Morningwood Detailing. That's a good one. Wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, or some. There's like you gotta have a good thing. Like when the word thought came out, I wanted to make like a product called like Thought Patrol. So I tried to buy like thoughtpatrol.com or something. Just you got to do.
Oh, THOT. I was like.
Yeah. Thought Patrol, like thought. Thought cleaner. This thought. Like something. I don't know. You gotta do things that grab attention. I believe.
I propose doing salaciously like halfway nude models for DIY Detail, the brand that I own now, and Ivan LaCroix said no, we're not doing that.
But that it depends. It depends who you want to sell products to.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the reason why DIY detailing products going to go so good is the same reason why Chemical Guys is because it's reaching to a broader base of market. Like it's reaching out there, like, and this is a weird thing is that people that detail their cars, they spend more money than like the professional detailer. Believe it or not, I did a statistic.
Well, but like the professional detailer who orders like their bulk quarterly, like 10 ceramic coatings.
They never do because the detailers, detailers right now, like I said, education level low, so they don't order their stuff online. They last minute. I need it now, so I need to go to the detailing shop. That's why detailing shops even exist like that.
Right, because you think in the world of online, why would you need a retail detail shop?
Correct. It's because people are like, oh shit, I ran out of soap. I need to get it now. I got a job to do today. Okay. But when they, and this is a really true story, bro, is like, detailers don't think about selling time. Detailers, I believe, sell time. And instead of selling time, they focus too much on, I need to make your car shinier. So when they're trying to make the car shinier, they're not selling time. They're not getting more money on the service. So they're trying to make more money in other ways. And they think the only way to make money is by lowering my product cost. So let me get cheaper products, right? But then there's a limit where that can negatively affect your business. So this guy came into my shop one time and he was telling me the story about how he was using some other products from another store, but they were like the cheap products. Okay. And he lost a whole client that he was doing like 5 cars for a week because one day all the windows were streaky because the glass cleaner he was using was some trash cheap glass cleaner.
Okay.
And so saving $5 on a gallon of glass cleaner cost him a whole client.
Man, I got a glass cleaning hack right here. So we have a glass cleaner with DIY detail, and I used to be a hater on glass cleaners, right? But it's actually pretty cool. Like, I've kind of come around to it. You know, it's like if you're going to do a DIY brand, right, you have to have a glass cleaner. Like, you have to have one, right? And I used to be like, all I need is isopropyl alcohol or paint prep. But I actually, what's cool about glass cleaners, and I'm not saying that yours is the same as mine or whatever, but there's just a lot of dwell time. And it stays lubricated, so I can kind of get a lot of working time with my towel. And if for some reason it doesn't get perfect, then I'm coming in there with my isopropyl alcohol or my panel prep and a fresh towel and getting the streak free. So you can make the glass work if you have a product on the front end. Like you could use an all-purpose cleaner for your first swipe on glass and then take your panel prep. You know what I mean? So if your window cleaner isn't perfect, but I get it, right? Like I get that inferior products. Like I had a business partner with Hawk Pro for a while, and we sort of ended up splitting ways, and that was around the time when I started my DIY detail. But he was using Stinger chemicals, like just all Stinger, and like I didn't even have fun cleaning cars anymore because he wanted to get the cheapest stuff, and it was just like, man, it doesn't work as well. It's not as fun. I don't know it, and I'm not here to hate on them. It's just that's the cheapest stuff you can buy, and you think that's going to save you, but it doesn't. I don't know. We had cars coming back that customers said white stuff was appearing on the leather, and it was like, man, I miss the good old days when I got all the high-end stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what I'm trying to focus on now with detailing. Usually we're talking about detailing is I just try to focus on the high-end stuff. Like the car that's coming right now, it's a GT2 911, and we're going to get that thing ready for concourse, you know, and the results come out better, I believe, because us as detailers, we want to see like the best result we can. We want to see the best result we can. And I don't know about you, but I get disappointed when I'm cleaning like a car and I can't get the best result, maybe because the customer doesn't want to pay for the time, where I have to cut this short. So now with detailing with us over here, it's all or nothing.
That's the only product I would ever offer. Just like I detail the interior one way. Like,
yeah, that's it. How much is the interior detail? It's this much. How much is the exterior detail? It's this much. Because as a professional detail, I still get calls, and the calls go like this. Hi, I need a full detail on a 911. How much is it? Well, how much, you know, it depends, like what you want done. They're like, well, I want the top of the line and the top of the top. And I'm like, well, dude, it's going to cost like $10,000. We're going to have to take all the wheels off. We're going to refinish everything. We're going to fill any paint chips. Like we're going to make the car look like new. Oh, well, that's too much money. Like what's under that? So like people always, like I said about the restaurant, people demand the best. Always, even if it's like a car wash, I still want it to be a primo wash. I still want to feel happy with it.
So how do you meet those expectations if they're not paying for it?
Then we just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like if that, and that's my theory with detailing now is if I'm going to detail a car, I want to give you my all 110%. I want to give you a work of art. I want to give you a masterpiece. I don't want to have to be like, oh, well, you know, we had to skimp this out. We didn't have enough time. We had to make it like black and white for you, this painting, you know, it doesn't feel good at the end, you know, and we do detailing now to feel good, you know? So now over here, when I do detailing, it's me. And I also have an assistant. His name's Osvaldo, and Osvaldo was working at a car wash, and I hired him to work here. And now he's like one of the best detailers I know. He smokes people on stuff. I was like, dude, doesn't miss stuff so fast, you know, because he's had that experience on that. And that's why I think detailing is so easy. You could teach it to anybody.
What do you think you'd be doing if you didn't get in the detailing industry?
You know, man, I'm in the detailing industry because I just love cars, dude. Like, you know, people always say you can do anything, have success. You know, to be in this industry with cars and the passion, that's the number one thing, dude. Like that's the dream, man, to come in and just do stuff that you want to do, you know, to be creative on that level.
I think it's people who get it, man. Like when you love detailing cars, like my buddy J&G Auto Detailing, Jamie Gonzalez, like I'm down at his shop sometimes, and he's got just probably 10 employees. He's got doing bumper. He has a whole paint booth. He has a detail, ceramic coating, polishing. Like they do a lot of lock cars, but they've got a good relationship with these dealerships. Like he's busy, busy, busy. Like it's his
Yeah.
job to answer the phone, make deals, like handle this as a business owner. But he tells me, he's like, I miss detailing, bro. He's like, I just love it. You know, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
true. Like
yeah. It's
we
something
love detailing. It's in our souls.
yeah. But I don't want to be the what got me into detailing is I don't want to be under the pressure of like, oh, it has to be done now. I don't want that pressure. Some people want that out there. Like I tell people if they want a car detailed for me and it needs to work here, the car needs to be here for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Because like I want to be able to take my time with it. I want to be able to make it good.
And that's a luxury that Greg Masterson has as the owner of Masterson's, right? Like you're not a working detailer who needs to really get paid from detailing only.
Correct. Yeah. We want to, I mean, I do it, mainly to have a good time, like running a business is extremely stressful. Like it's crazy stress shit. And, like,
what's the most stressful part for you?
Man, with detailing or actually with running a business, it's having to see what you do now to affect 5 years from now. And that's one of the things. Also, what's hard about running a detailing business nowadays is the negativity from detailing. It's crazy, dude. Like the professional detailing industry is like extremely negative. Just like you can see from some of the comments. Like,
well, Greg Masterson, love him or hate him, right? Some people like, listen, you can have issues with things, but like I don't know why anyone would hate you. Like I hope they've listened to you. Like he's an interesting cat. He's really good at marketing. He's got a really like engaging personality. Like I see some of the reasons why you succeeded just by talking to him. Like, but hate, like I don't know, like to find the energy to write something really hateful. Like there's stuff going on, and I've been a hater in the past.
You know what, man? Like it's just who's your favorite Batman character?
Is that a rhetorical question?
No. Like this is a real question. Like, who's your favorite Batman character? Like, if you in the whole series of Batman, who's your favorite character?
Dude, I like the Butler. He's a badass.
You like the Butler, Alfred? For me,
yeah,
it's the Joker, dude. Like,
okay. You said this before.
Yeah. Because like the people always ask like, who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? Like, I think the Joker might not be the bad guy. He might be the good guy. People can look at it from so many different ways, right? But like
Jesus needed Judas for the whole story to work, right?
Yeah. Like it needs that to happen, right? It's like I was gonna watch that movie, The Assassination of. Oh man, it was called The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Tom Ford or something, or Tom, like I don't know if you ever like watched the like that movie, but it said the same thing. It was like Jesse James, he was like a pimping criminal or something, and somebody just was a hater and the guy just killed him. It's crazy. Like it's a good story. Supposedly, I wanted to watch it. Somebody's like, "Who's my favorite Batman?" So hate. Gary Vee says it the best. It takes a lot for somebody to go on and like make a negative comment. Like that took a lot of effort. And I think about that way is true. Like, let's say you want to make a negative comment about something online. What if you, instead of taking the time to type that negative comment, you made a positive comment on your business Facebook post, on your business Facebook? You would go further. Gary Vee said that, and I was like, yeah, man, that's really true. A lot of stuff. It's funny that you brought up Gary Vee because a lot of stuff that Gary Vee says, it's really true. Successfully, like-minded people think alike. It's interesting.
Do you feel like to be successful at business that you have to be a liar?
No, I think business is all built about being an honest person and doing good customer service. Because you notice the companies that are the most caring and honest about their customers, they go the furthest. They keep.
Are you talking about the short term or the long game?
The long game.
Yep.
Like I'll give you example. Apple's always just done stuff for the customer and kept going with Steve's vision. They went really far with Steve, but it wasn't like Steve was lying to people. Steve was super honest. Like he would go up and do a keynote once a year We're talking about Steve Jobs, and
Right.
it'd be like, here's what we're doing. This is what we did. We did this for the year, and we did this for you. Enjoy. And I believe that's why Apple was so successful, in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think you have to do that to be successful?
I truly don't, and I try to focus on not doing it. But I see what sort of appears to be sort of like white lies permeating a lot of people and how they run their businesses and like the bigger picture in the industry. And it's sort of hard to know what is true and what is sort of a white lie and what, you know what I mean, in the marketing game. And so I just sort of wonder about that.
Yeah.
I sort of wonder about that.
Like one of the biggest ones that I think is the ceramic coating scams.
Ooh,
I'm really big into this, man. Like, I truly believe that the ceramic coating industry is the death of all professional detailers. That it's killing the detailing industry, and it's the reason why people aren't making as much money. Because there's detailers out there selling ceramic coatings that they claim last 5, 7. There's one company that was trying to sell a 50-year ceramic coating.
No way.
Yeah, you could Google it. Go 50-year ceramic coating. Comes up, right? So lifetime ceramic coating, like lasts a lifetime, right? And so I believe, like, if you detail a car, if you're a professional and you detail a car and you tell a customer, here, I'm putting this 10-year coating on your car. Nick, when do you think's the next time that you'll see that customer again?
A year from now?
I think 10 years.
Oh, you think 10 years?
Yeah, for 100%. If somebody tells me that they are going to put paint on my house and that the paint's going to last 10 years, the next time they're going to hear from me is in 10 years.
That's true. That's so true.
Like, and if the paint starts failing, I'm going to call back and be like, look, it didn't last 10 years. You need to give me my money back or something like that.
So do you think detailers are making less money now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Big time.
So, okay, what do you mean by that? Because you talk to a lot of them coming into your shop or into your storefronts, right?
Not as much anymore. And this is where it gets real deep, man. I live in California, okay? And there are not enough. If I wanted somebody right now, a detailer, to detail my car, do a good job, come on time, and give me a fair price, I don't know any detailer that could do that for me today in Southern California. Not one.
What do you mean?
Like, I can't find any detailer to come. Like, I need a car wash. Let's say I need a car wash right now, which there's sometimes I might need a car wash. Let's say I just don't want to wash my car. I got a couple cars. If I wanted that car washed right now, I don't know anybody that I could call that could come and give me a good detail, even if it was $50, $99, $150, $200, doesn't matter, any price, that could come, give me a good job, do a good price, and come on time. They're either going to come late or they're going to flake, or they're going to go do a stupid, ridiculous price or undercharge.
Like, what's a ridiculous price for a detail that you would think is not fair?
Like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, if I called somebody up and I said, hey man, I want my car washed, clayed, and waxed. Can you just do this for me? Exterior only. And they're trying to charge me like $500. So that's too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to be honest, I actually would pay more money, but if they have to come on time. It's like one of the biggest things I hear about in the industry is this is the worst for me is when you talk to people about their detailing business and they say, I'm booked 3 weeks out. I'm booked a month out. And I'm thinking to myself, who would wait a month to get a car detail? If I can't get a car detail this week, I'm going somewhere else.
So what's the answer then?
The answer is detailers need to start seeing their customers more. Okay? They need to start interacting with the customers on a basis where they connect with them all the time. It's like, why does my barber make money off me when I go? Because I'll go get a haircut every 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right? And I see him and I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? And I tip him and stuff. The detailers need to be seeing the customers more. They need to be interacting with the customers more. Instead, they're trying to sell these like 50-year coatings and then they don't see the customer again for 50 years and they're dead.
So you think maintenance clients are a big deal for detailers?
Oh, yeah. And that's why I go out with my buddy that we work here and we do the maintenance things at the Tesla charging station for 2 hours. And we're in and out in like 2 hours and we're out of there with like $500.
Okay, I have a question for you then. On the retail side and then for detailers, everyone's talking about these headlines with the economy. Where do you see things heading?
With the economy is shit, dude, and the economy is going to shit. And I'm telling you, it's like, we're in a really hard recession right now, and people are going to want to keep their cars longer. They'll kind of cut back on those luxury goods. So you need to offer like different types of services that are more economical for you as a detailer. In my opinion, like in this economy, you really shouldn't try to be selling the $2,500 coating. You should try to be selling a good cleaning, because in reality, what do people want when they come to you? They want a good, clean car. They don't care that this is going to last like a couple years, or like a couple months. They just want the clean car because the car is going to get dirty again.
Yes, it will.
That's the thing. The car will get dirty again, and you want that client to come back to you. And hey, can you clean up this car for me? Can you do a quick cleanup? If you can do that, that's the number one thing. That's just why I believe that the ceramic coating industry, it's ruining the industry. And then you got people going asking, does this make my car fireproof? Every 3 months, I educate them on how to take care of a coating. That's great, but why not just
Jamie
take
the
care
cleaner?
Yeah, Jamie the cleaner. But this is some crazy stuff. Is detailers aren't out there enough. They don't put their phone numbers out on enough. They don't do things to make them credible right now. Like
Well,
every.
Can I tell you that Mike Phillips, like after we did that podcast on the DIY Detail channel last Friday,
Yeah.
he left his phone number for people, and people started commenting like back in the day on the Autopia forum or something, like I had a question about something, and Mike literally said, hey, here's my cell phone, give me a call. And then he walked this random stranger through how to do this, gave up his time to do that, and I was like, wow, like it takes a lot to like, here's my phone number, just call me whenever.
Yeah, I post.
But look, he's a legend, and people are saying all these nice things about him all these years later.
I go on detailing groups on Facebook and I say, give me a call. Here's my phone number. People are afraid to call it because they don't think it's the real number, but it's the real number. It's just that we live in a world right now where things are too fake. And so when you see people like me and you that are talking on this real stuff, they're like, oh, this might be too real. That's the hardest part. That's why people believe in these 50-year coatings, but they don't believe in like, hey, just apply a 1-year sealant on it and make it look good.
Oh, you ready to go into controversy land?
Yeah.
What if you just apply a nice ceramic sealant after every car wash? Is that as good as a high-level ceramic coating?
Yeah, I believe so. I 110% believe so, because it's like, who's abusing their car enough to like need this thing to last like 50 years or 10 years or a 1,000,000-year coating? Someone said coatings have made detailing into a real business. No, I don't think it has.
You don't think so? You don't think that's elevated the industry?
No, I think it's
because that seems to be the sort of the common what is it? The common wisdom, conventional wisdom is that being able to charge for these coatings has really helped elevate the industry.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think it made them anymore, because I'll give you an example. Some of these guys, they're paying $200 per coating per car on the cost, and then they're only increasing their price up a couple $100. They really didn't make anything more off it.
What do you mean though? If you charge $1,500, like it's kind of irrelevant.
Okay. Let's say they're charging $1,000 for a wax and a paint correction, and they're charging $1,500 for a coating and a paint correction. But the cost of the coating itself costs $200
plus the install time and all that.
Yeah. So they're only making like an extra $300. Like,
well, so I heard a theory once that ceramic coating. This came from. Let's keep it real on Hawk Talk.
Yeah.
Scott from Dallas Paint Correction, before he started Dallas Paint Correction and ceramic coatings, which is now his bread and butter business. He doesn't do videos on YouTube anymore. I love Scott, by the way. I love all you controversial guys. There's more to the story than people realize. I love Scott. But earlier on the forums, which I don't know if he'd admit this or not, he wrote on a Facebook post, ceramic coatings were just a scam from the detail industry so that they could sell paint correction. So in the spirit of being able to sell people paint correction when maybe they couldn't before, where people didn't know what a ceramic coating was, and so it was harder to sell a paint correction and a wax to somebody, I feel like the rise of ceramic coatings have also made the rise of a two-step paint correction more part of the vernacular. Or you could just sell the coating as really expensive, but really what you're selling is the time and labor for the correction. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like this is my truly belief. I believe that the paint correction is a tough sell, and you have to explain to the customer what the paint correction is. but I truly believe that wax looks better than a coating. And I truly believe that a lot of companies out there, like you go to Walmart, it's ceramic everything. But why is it ceramic everything? It's because it's cheaper to make than wax. Wax is so much more expensive to make. You have to grow a tree, harvest a tree. You have to process this wax. A ceramic coating is all made in a lab. Like, what are you gonna? What's more expensive for you, the lab grown banana or the organic banana?
Do you believe that wax is not dead? Is that what you're saying?
Wax is so not dead, like big time. I feel, and I
And
was
that's
talking,
not just because your website is mastersonswax.com.
yeah, that's not even about it. You know, I was talking to one of the most legendary detailers out there. His name's Mark Ellsworth. Okay, he's actually one of the people who trained Paul Dalton. Okay. And we were talking about how cars 10 years ago, 15 years ago looked better. The products looked better because they were using wax. They were using hard waxes that were really elevating the paint itself.
Filling some scratches temporarily.
Yeah, it's like the look of wax is undeniable. And the problem is people have forgotten what that even looks like.
Ivan LaCroix will call bullshit on that, and because he's talked about this before, where he'll have a wax on one panel and a coating on the other panel, and then he'll tell a detailed training class to
pick the difference,
differentiate, and usually he just puts one product on both panels, and they're convinced that one looks different than the other, which is sort of a perception thing, right?
Yeah, it is a perception thing. But what I will tell you though is I have a car. I've owned it for 15 years, and I have pictures of it with different waxes and different sealants and different coatings on it. And the waxes that are hard waxes that just some like exotic waxes, they look the best. And I can go back in the pictures and look and be like, the car looked the best at that time in that picture.
So what's the deal? Like chemical guys, Dodo, I feel like Swiss Vax like sells like really high. Like I've seen these waxes selling for like $200 for a little thing. Like what's the difference between like a wax from Turtle Wax, which actually there's ceramic paste wax I tried about a year ago, really good.
Yeah.
What's the difference between like a $30 thing and a $200 thing? Is it marketing? Like what's in these fancy waxes?
It's like, what's the difference between a $10 steak and a $50 steak? It's a big difference. It's the ingredient. It's the actual steak. You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between a prime steak, a gold steak, and a choice steak? It's a big difference. And usually it's the ingredients, man. The sourcing of the ingredients. Like we make a paste wax here. We sell it for $129. It's a 12-ounce pot. Like this paste wax can compete with like $1,000 paste waxes. It uses higher end ingredients like Monton wax. Monton wax is a really hard wax to come across. It's made from like prehistoric carbon, stuff from like dinosaur age. And it's only found in like places like Germany, Austria, some places in Europe, California.
That sounds like a marketing spin. Are you serious? Prehistoric carbon?
Yeah. Google this. It's like wax made from trees and stuff that's been like hardened over time underground. And it's like processed over these old plants and shit. It's called Monton. Okay. And so that wax, that's a higher end wax. That's not in other waxes. And it really depends on the wax. Like I have a collection of waxes that people have made me over the years. Because a lot of people make waxes, but you know, just because you make a wax, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy to use. I got this wax that was made from me by this guy in Europe. His name was Rubbish Boy, and it's in my fridge. The wax looks amazing on cars, but it's so hard to use. Yeah. You have to heat up your applicator pad with a hairdryer or heat gun.
What?
Yeah, because it's that hard. It's like a freaking rock. So even the friction won't do anything to like melt it enough for you to spread it on the paint.
So I'm looking at your website. So who's applying waxes these days?
People that really want some high end stuff.
So not necessarily detailers, but like more of the enthusiast, or
yeah. Because the professional detailers, they're a lot of them are just trying to use the cheapest products and they're trying to just get the work done the fastest if they can. It's like McDonald's. You know, you go to a professional detailer, you're getting some McDonald's action. Like there's a lot. I talk to a lot of detailers out here in Southern California, and a lot of them don't even dry the car. They want to use spot-free water and just not dry the car. So me and you as a detailer knows, yeah, spot-free water is going to dry spot-free, but water, even clean water, still has some residue on it. Someone said, Greg, you ever going to send a bottle to Hawaii for his test hood? No, I won't. He needs to buy it on our website.
Who's test hood?
There's this guy. There's a lot of people want me to send free products out there for them to test. But I don't believe that you should send a free product out there for somebody to test because it's a biased test. Like if I want to test something out, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to pay for it. It's like the same thing like I was telling you about. If I want to see how good a detailer is, I'll pay them for their service. Wash my car. Here's how much you want to charge me. This much. Okay.
But you're a marketing guy. Like if you send someone product, they're more likely to talk about it.
Maybe, maybe not. From my experience, no. And I've actually done this. I send people samples. They're like, send me a free sample. And then I call them, I call them up like every week. Hey, did you try the sample? Did you try the sample? It could sit on their desk for 2 months.
That's true.
Because they are like, oh, yeah, I got it and I got it for free. And okay, it doesn't mean anything. When you get something for free, it means nothing to you. It means zero. It's like when you bang a girl on the first date, you're just like, oh, I can bang her anytime. Right? But if she holds back on the first date, second date, it's a little harder. You're like, oh man, like that was a harder one. That was a good one. You hold on to it a little more. That's the way I like to describe it. When you pay for something, you value it way more, even if it costs $1. Have you ever been to a free training seminar, Nick?
Yeah.
A free training seminar, like it could be free, but it could have a lot of good knowledge in it. You could be gaining a lot of good knowledge from it. Totally. But some people will go to the training seminar and they won't even pay attention. Why? Oh, yeah, that was free. And the knowledge.
Whereas if you paid $500, you'd probably pay more attention and take more.
Heck yeah! Oh, heck yeah! And you value it, and you're like, oh man, like you because it costs you. You paid for it.
You got skin in the game.
That's why I don't like. Banging girls on the first date. Like Neil said, I'm sensing a theme here. Tesla charging station, girls in bikinis, banging girls on a first date. Like I'm just talking about real stuff that we talk about. There's been girls washing cars in bikinis since Cars.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you don't think that's actually what guys want to see? Like it is.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Girls want to see it too. We're in an all-inclusive world. You know what I mean? And because something about marketing is crazy, man, is a man can only sell to men. A woman can sell to a man and a woman.
So what are you doing as the face of the company then?
I don't know, dude. Well, detailing products are specifically mainly bought by men.
That's so true.
On a bigger level. You know what I mean? But you sell to women. Women make a big difference. That's why we talk about that stuff a lot. But this is just like a lot of controversy with detailing. There's a lot of stuff out there I like to talk about. But yeah, you are right. There's a lot of fakes out there with the industry. Like the biggest fake that bothers me, man, like the biggest lie bullshit out there is when people put ceramic on cars and they light it on fire.
Oh, that's kind of a Ceramic Pro thing from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, though. But
it's on the internet. It's there forever.
It's there forever.
And people go and they still come and they ask, hey, is this ceramic coating fireproof?
People say that?
Yeah, dude. Because there are so many lies out there being portrayed by detailers. It's ridiculous. Here are the ones that I hear on a daily basis that customers have come and they've been told by another detailer. Here's a bunch of them. That ceramic coating is scratch proof. That it doesn't get water spots. That it's going to last 5, 10, 50 years. I've heard these things. Someone tells, does it protect against rock chips?
Nope.
No, it doesn't. But these are the stuff that's being told to the customer every freaking day. And that's why ceramic coating is being the demise of the professional detailer. It's killing it out.
You think it's too much over-promising?
Yeah, a lot. Because instead of selling them, a detailer should be selling that they're coming on time and they're doing a good job and they're giving a good price. Instead, they're trying to cut the services off the other guy by saying, oh, my coating lasts longer.
That's so interesting, man. You're like a walking soundbite, man. Okay, so let's talk. Let's wrap this thing up with a prognostication, right? We're in this duff economy. What do you see happening in the retail market, and what do you see happening for professional detailers?
I don't see the retail market slowing down at all.
like with COVID, people bought more stuff, right? If you have a recession, people aren't buying new cars; they're taking care of their own. So you think it's going to be good for retail?
Retail's never going to slow down. People, you know what? The craziest thing about car detailing products is retail. It won't slow down, for the consumer, because that's who the people are buying. I truly believe everybody's a detailer. My mom, when we're washing a car, we're detailer. You're anchor man when you're on the news. You're anchor man. You're Ron. You know what I mean? And when you're detailing, you're detailer Nick. Just like when my mom details, she's a detailer. It's like if you ever married and you have a wife, she might be cooking sometime and say, well, I'm not a short order cook, right? I'm a wife, you'll hear that. Like, are you married, Nick?
Divorced.
Okay, there you go. Did you ever hear that?
I mean, I that wasn't really the vibe around the house, but
I
feel
know,
like I could.
Yeah, it's a good one. Even my mom, even like I've talked to a lot of people and they think about it, like, yeah, that has been said one time, because like when I make cocktails, I'm not a bartender, but when I'm making cocktails, I'm bartender Greg, and I try to do bartender job. No, I don't own a bar. No, I've never worked at a bar restaurant, but I'll tell you this, I got all the mixing stuff and all the ingredients and all the high-end stuff and the berries and the honeys and the syrups and the shaker.
And a lot more people are more isolated after COVID and spending more time at home. So you think there's just an existing, expectation culture, YouTube info out there where people are going to be detailing no matter what.
Yeah, home. There's a lot of people in the detailing industry, or like, as I see the detailing industry going like this. The detailing industry needs to be a service-based industry. It needs to be a service-based industry, and it needs to stop being like, I'm going to protect your car forever. Okay? Because guess what? Nobody wants to keep their car forever. If I'm still driving the same car in 10 years, dude, that sucks.
It's probably paid off at least.
Yeah, but like, do you want to be wearing the same clothes for 10 years?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't want to either. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be doing something new. I want to be getting a new car, And so, yeah, you can make this car last forever, but I think it should be more about making people feel good. Why do you get a haircut? Why do you go to
It's so interesting because when I get shaggy, I'm like, I got to get a haircut. But I don't know if it's just like sitting there and feeling like someone's taking care of me, or if it's just the human connection. And it's not like a gay thing, but maybe it's just literally human touch or whatever. Like, I don't know what it is, just talking about my life, having someone listening. But I always leave the barber like in a great mood. It's more than just my hair, bro. Like at a huge, like, deep level. And I don't know what it is. What do you think it is?
I believe it's the same thing with detailing, man. It's like, it's when the only way I can equate getting a freshly detailed car is like getting a haircut, bro. Like that, like there's three feelings right here that are like for any man, like straight up, like do this. Okay. And this is for men mainly. Okay. Buying a new suit or a new pair of shoes. Okay. A lot of people don't wear suits anymore, but like buying a new pair of shoes. Okay. Getting a haircut and having a clean ass car. Those three things will make any man feel like $1 million. I guarantee it. And it has to be like that service setup. Like, I feel like as a detailer, they should be like, a detailer should find the most banginest barber in their area and make a deal with them to wash cars at the barbershop. So people can get their car washed while they get a haircut. And both businesses make money and everybody's happy. Because I guarantee you, if I knew somewhere where I could go get a haircut and then my car be washed at the same time and me get out of there and I got a fresh cut and my car's so clean, oh my gosh, I won't even go to work. I'll get in my car, I'll go drive to the beach, and I'll go do something else because I'll feel that good.
I want to know what's going on in LA because I'm growing out this potentially nasty mullet back here. Is the mullet in LA? Should I keep it or should I let her go?
In LA, there's a fashion right now, and I call it. This is the fashion.
See this guy?
Oh, that's nice, bro. That's nice.
I don't know if it's nice or not.
It reminds me of the little kid Richie from Family Matters.
Like, I'll look that up.
you're gonna look that up now. Just search Richie Family Matters, and you're gonna be like, oh, there you go. It's gonna come like that. He's
Oh,
looking it up.
that's a look right there.
I know, right?
That's a look right there.
That's
That's
a
a
look.
vibe.
That's a look, man. And so, yeah, I truly believe that that detailing needs to be a service based industry, like a feel good, and that's really what mobile detailing is all about. I make you feel good.
Honestly, I felt like a much better connection with my customers when I was mobile. I was in their driveway. They could watch me the whole time. There were more conversations. They could totally see the amount of work I was putting in. They always felt so appreciative, I felt like, even when they were like, okay, are you still here? Whatever. But I found more intimate connections were made as a mobile detailer. Just my 2 cents, right? And
Yeah,
we're humans. We're wired for connections. So that
yeah, we
matters.
are wired for connection. That's why I said I want a detailer to come on time, do a good job, and give me a good price. Mainly come on time. Because detailers, they try to I don't know what's up with it. They don't want to come on time. They're like, out here in California, this is I hope every detailer that's listening to this hears this out here. California doesn't have enough detailers. There's not. I said in a Facebook group that I needed that I don't know any good detailers in Orange County. They're all garbage. And this girl said, "No, that can't be true. I know so many good detailers." And I said, "Just send me the name of 2. I want to call them. I'll try to get." One of them they sent me, their website didn't even have their phone number on it, so I couldn't even call them.
Okay.
And if a company has no phone number on it, I'm not, dude. I think it's a scam. Right. I need to be able to talk to somebody, And the next one, they sent me a detailer, and he only had 3 reviews on Google Maps, and 1 review was from 5 years ago.
That's like Carpet Cleaning Nerds, my short-lived carpet cleaning company. Like I haven't cleaned carpets in 3 or 4 years, but
Okay, yeah.
I still have a Google profile, so that's how sketchy that is.
Yeah, exactly. That's super sketchy, bro. And that's why I was like, man, there's no details. I believe if a detailers just came out here to Orange County, California, dude, they could make a killing. Minimum $100,000 a year, minimum, just hanging out around here.
I just want to show you this quote. It's so polarizing to see a guy in the detailing business that I highly respect and a guy I don't care for on the same screen, but good different points of view. I respect the hustle of both.
That's good.
Jay, I was like just thinking, let's get Greg on here because I think you're controversial and misunderstood. So I guess let's just end here because I really do want to get this thing wrapped up, but we're not done yet. What is the why behind what you do?
The why?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to have fun, dude. We only live one life, and I've learned that. I've talked to a lot of people, man, that we only live one life and we need to enjoy what we do every day, and yeah, running a business is really, really hard and stuff, but everything has a benefit. You know what I mean? Like I like working here at Masterson Car Care because I'm able to live like 5 minutes away and spend time with my son more. So I really, really do like that. I can go out, I can go home, maybe eat lunch with my son, and I have like a 1.5-year-old baby. So it's really cool to do stuff like that. That's what keeps me going. That's the why, but mainly why do we do that?
No, that's a great why though. Like having fun. I think there's so many different things that people think about with their life of I want to be happy and I want to blah, blah, blah. And like we forget about having fun.
Yeah.
Like what happened to having fun? It's like that's one of the best things about being alive is having fun, I think. I mean, I'm not seeking out pleasure over happiness because pleasure is short-lived, but I still think that fun is a critical thing for happiness.
Yeah. It's like that going back to the thing about why I was working at Chemical Eyes and why everybody was working there. It was just to have fun. Because we were just having a crazy fun time. We'd work and then we go out to like comedy clubs like on weeknights and just like watch comedy. And I mean like these were comedy LA clubs, it was like some crazy stuff. We used to go to this comedy club on Wednesdays at the Improv, and it was like a special show, and you'd have like high-end comedians go there and try their new stuff. They bring little books and fucking and they'd be like, honing a joke or honing a skit, right? And dude, we would just have good times like that, and that's what I like doing with cars. That's why I like having this culture out here. Like I'd like to have you over here, Nick, having a good time and just
it'd be fun. I haven't hit up the California car scene but a lot of the detailers that I started watching, you, Jimbo Balaam, and Darren from Auto Fetish, see what I did there. We're all in California. Speaking of that, Aubrey and King says, what happened to Auto Fetish Detail in Orange County? Do you know Darren? Do you know his story? What happened to him?
I've met Darren. I haven't seen Darren, but like I said, I think Darren I've talked to Darren, and the cool thing about detailing is it's so open. Okay, it's like they say detailing is an art. Yeah, it is an art. You just because somebody gives you, an artist has colors to paint and different types of paint, but you don't tell the artist how to paint. The artist can paint however he wants. He can lick his hand and slap it on there. He can do with his fingers, do with a brush, right? I feel like detailing is the same way with your life. Like you can control your life with detailing. I believe, like this Tesla gig I was telling you, last year we were doing this gig. Me and the homie were just doing it on the side. We made like 140,000 just doing it, and we split it. Like somebody could easily.
Is there any pushback from you doing this on someone's property, or where are these charging stations?
They're everywhere, dude. They're like they're at malls, they're at shopping centers, whatever. If we roll up, people have tried to say you can't wash cars here, but the rule is you can't wash cars with water. You can't have water. So we're not washing cars, we're waterless detailing.
Oh, I see
okay.
what you did there,
and that's how we get around being different. It's like I tell people out here that they should just, if you lived in California, that you should just start a waterless car wash business. But they look at me like, oh, what do you mean? My buddy said, I need a 200-gallon water tank and a van and a pressure washer and a generator, and I need all this other stuff. That's what they told me I need. And I told them, no, you don't need that. You need to be different, and you need to go wash cars differently. And they're like, oh, no, I have to be doing it cookie cutter. And that's where we end up where we're at with detailing right now. Is you have everybody just copying everybody, and you end up with all the same stuff.
So where does fear exist for you in the whole grand scope of motivation?
Dude, fear is crazy. Bro, like I got COVID last year. I feel like I was pretty fearless for a long time. And then I got COVID last year. And dude, after that, it was like a hardcore COVID. I was really sick. And I feel like I got some crazy anxiety after that. And I feel like, I don't know, people talk about this with COVID. Sometimes you get some like anxiety afterwards. Yeah, I started thinking about a lot of stuff, and you really just have to say, fuck it, keep going. Somebody said $140,000 a year, yet he said he was doing it a few days a week. Yeah, I like that.
Having too much fun is your biggest fan, by the way.
He's my biggest fan. He's my biggest fan. But let's just go about this, okay? I do 10 cars at $50 each. That's $500. I do this 4 days a week. Okay, that's $2,000 a week times 52. It's like $104,000. So some days we were doing some extra stuff. That's why it came out to about 140 and tips.
Greg, you're an interesting character, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah.
What did you think of this? The initial, hawk talk.
I like real life detailing stuff, especially with business. I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about the detailing business side, and detailers out there are struggling. Somebody said now add California taxes on that 140,000. People always say, this is the one thing I will tell people about detailers, always so hung up on the taxes. Like, oh my God, taxes. Dude, if you're paying taxes, that means you're making good money, dude. You're making a lot. Like, for real, you know what I mean? But you should be writing off a lot of stuff with your business. You should be writing off, somebody said California taxes, you should be writing off your van, you should be writing off your car, all your equipment, everything, you know what I mean? That's the one thing that they should be doing. So there's a lot of stuff about the detailing industry. I hope some more success happens. We're doing some more classes out in California. We do training classes for business here, which really is going to make a big deal on things. So
do you think the training market is oversaturated?
No, I don't think the training.
I feel like a lot of people in detailing don't actually want to detail, and they want to end up making it in training or joining a company or making it on YouTube, right? Because detailing is hard, even if you love it. I just wonder if there's too many cats in the training game.
There's too many I don't think there's too many cats in the training game, but it's people that are listening this out there, they need to look at who they're training. Because I'll give you an example. There was a company who was doing a training out there in Atlanta, and it was like an extreme one-day training with this company. And it said who the trainers were, and I Googled the trainers were, and they were just some no-name detailers that knew nothing. So are you going to pay $1,000 to go learn from just some no-name guy? Or are you going to go pay $1,000 to go learn from somebody like Nick or Greg or Ivan? It's a big difference there. And that's why it looks like the training game is oversaturated, because people be trying to throw up random detailer Bob who knows nothing about detailing. Or
he's been in it for maybe a year or two.
Year.
I mean, you can learn a lot in a year or two.
Yeah.
That's like in dog years, man. That's like 10 years in other industries. Like
you can learn.
You professionally detail for 2 years. Like you've seen a lot.
Yeah. But should you be training? Should you be paying $1,000 to train from Muhammad Ali and $1,000 to train from Jake on the street?
That's a good question.
That's the question. Where are you getting the knowledge from? And that's why there's so much misinformation about detailing out there, like big time. Like so much stuff being told out there.
Look at this. Pristine Auto Detailing says, "What do you think about a 24-hour live stream detail shop and mic'd up? No editing, just people always watching. LOL."
Yeah, we do.
That would be like what's that?
We do that on TikTok.
Do you really?
Yeah. If anybody needs to follow us, like, you should follow us on TikTok. I go live on TikTok for like hours on stuff. I actually, believe it or not, I taught a detailing class the other day that we charged $99 for. I live streamed it on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, but people need to get on TikTok and they gotta go at that. You know what I mean? A lot of times in the world, people just want the knowledge handed to them. Here you go. Here's gold. You got to go dig for a little bit, to make good, especially the knowledge. I've had to dig to find knowledge big time for years and years and years and years,
I'm going to put your TikTok right at the bottom of the screen and give you one last chance to say to the people what else you'd like them to know.
I'd like people to know that, I just love detailing, and I want all you guys to come out here and love detailing as much as me. So just come to our shop. Our address, 4308 East La Palma Avenue in Anaheim, California. We're located right next to Disneyland. We have people that come out and they fly from around the world to come out here.
Oh, I went to Disneyland in October. I should have swung by with my kids.
Yeah, why did you? Yeah, I told you, we're like right up the street from Disneyland, dude. It's
okay.
Crazy.
Have you ever been to Varsity Burgers?
It's
in Anaheim, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a random burger joint.
Yeah. I've been to Varsity Burgers. You should come out, Nick. I feel like you should fly out here and just grab dinner with me and have a good time. Or we should do a live here.
Just fly me out, bro. We're good.
You just fly me out. We're good. I know, right? Like, yeah, we could do that. See, somebody said Greg is the real one. Exposed me to the detailing world. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there with detailing, but with everything, there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of good information. You really just have to focus on combining the stuff. One thing I will say about detailing is, if you're going to detail a car, try to go with one brand. If you're going to go with DIY, pick DIY, detail the whole car. You're going to pick Mastersons, go with the Mastersons. If you're going to detail a car and you want to do it all with Meguiar's, pick Meguiar's, pick whatever. Just pick one brand, because I believe you're going to get better results with detailing using the system that those companies developed. And that's the one thing, is the system. Detailers nowadays, professionals, are trying to make up their own systems, mixing and matching detailing supplies. But sometimes...
Well, I think that puts the pressure on the detail companies to create a lineup that is so good across the line that people don't have to go cheat on them. I'm not saying it's the detailing company's fault, but like, I was a fan of Optimum for a while, right? I came up in the game with you, and then I started flirting with other brands, and then I really bought the whole spiel from Ivan and Dan, like, use the Optimum Synergy. And I loved many of their products, but a couple of them didn't meet the muster or whatever, didn't get me where I needed to go. So I was like, well, if that's not true, then what else isn't true? And then it turns out I only ended up using like their all-purpose cleaner after I left them for, gosh, I think I went to Ceramic Pro after that. And like, I just flirted.
Did you ever detail a whole car with all the Optimum stuff, like, as a like start to finish?
I think that I tried to do it, but I was like, they're fabric and protected and really get that stain. And then the mineral deposit remover didn't really get the water spots, which it wasn't really necessarily supposed to. It was supposed to help your coating get rejuvenated, but like they marketed it as like, this is going to get rid of water spots. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, they're hyper compound, like hazed up too much. And I was like, this is just not leaving the paint the way I want. And again, that's probably user error, a lot of that, but I don't know. If you're going to have a product line, you tell people to use your whole product line, like just make sure it's legit. But I do agree. It removes a lot of that guesswork.
Yeah. Like every time I've had, something go weird with, like, when I talk about paint correction, every time I've had somebody have a weird question about paint correction, why it isn't working, it's usually because they're trying to mix and match polishes.
And if you're the customer service guy, at least you can help them if they're using your products. If you tell me, like, I'm with DIY detail, like, well, hey, I tried like this Car Pro product and then I'm using turtle wax for this and it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, I may have used that product, but I publicly am not going to weigh in on whether it's good or not, and nor am I going to really be able to tell you, if I haven't used it, how to navigate this, right? It's harder to provide customer service to someone if they're not using your products.
Yeah, and the reason I use paint correction is because, like, polishes are designed to leave micro scratches and abrasion, and the next polish is designed to remove those micro scratches and abrasion and leave different micro scratches and abrasions, and then the next polish is designed to eliminate that micro scratch or abrasion. But the problem is that if you use a compound that creates certain abrasions and then you use a second polish after that, but it's not from the same company, it's not designed to remove those specific abrasions. So you're left with like haze, or you didn't get out enough of the polish, you didn't achieve the clarity. I feel like detailing is like a diet, like for cars. If you just follow all the instructions, you will get the best result. When you start cutting stuff out, like, oh, I don't need a clay bar, I'll use a chemical instead. Or let's say I don't want to do that polishing step, I'll use this instead. You don't get the same results. It's like going with a diet. If people who follow a diet, they lose weight or they get fit, right? It's always almost to the T. But you hear people and they're like, oh, I used that diet, it didn't work. Okay, well, what happened? Oh, well, I only did the diet 3 days out of the week and I cheated on Thursday, and then, like, I kept drinking or something. Like
speaking
that.
of a diet, Greg, I am starving, bro. We got to wrap this thing up. I love you, man. I'm loving this conversation, but if I don't eat, I'm about to fall over.
I know, my friend. What time is it up there in Canada? 2?
I'm not in Canada. I'm in Utah.
Oh, that's Utah. That's what I was. Sorry, I'm like, I feel like
Ivan's from Canada, and then he travels in a bus. It is 1:07 p.m.
He travels.
Time for Daddy to get some lunch.
Yeah, man. It was great. It was great chatting with you and everybody on. Hopefully, we can do this again, man. It was just real good talks. There's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to talk about detailing that we didn't even touch base on, because it's
absolutely. And you're like such a good talker and such a character, and you got so many interesting opinions that some people would look at as controversial, but I think are real. That I think there's a reason why we've had people watching and commenting. And let's end it there.
All the donations, man.
Oh my gosh! Thank you to both the folks who donated. Obviously, it was Mr. Wetback. And
what a name.
Oh no, I'm not leaving without a big thank you. If you guys want to leave a super chat with some money, I got a couple kids. So, oh my gosh, who donated? I'm like,
we got a couple people that donated up in there. Mr.
Wet Dry Vac, and then Pristine Auto Detailing. So much appreciation for everybody for listening. And with that, adios, my friends.
Thank you very much.
Greg.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks, man.